Good morning, everybody.
Buenos días a todos.
Welcome to City Hall, welcome to
Bienvenidos
Council
al
Chambers, and welcome to a
concilio de
meeting
la
of the
Cámara
Los
del
Angeles City
Concilio.
Council for
Bienvenidos
today,
al
Wednesday, June
concilio.
12th,
Hoy, miércoles 1,
2002.
12,
The City
2002.
Council
El
meets every
concilio se
Tuesday,
junta
Wednesday,
todos
and
los
Friday,
martes, miércoles y
and we
viernes,
always welcome the
y siempre
public
damos la bienvenida al
to
público,
Council Chambers and
a la
invite them
Cámara
to
del
participate in
Concilio, y le
council
invitamos
meetings.
a participar en las
We can be
juntas
viewed
del
live from
concilio.
home on your
Puede ser
cable
vista en vivo
stations,
en su
Channel
estación
35.
de
We can
cable
be
en
viewed
la
live via webcast from the
canal
city's
35, o
homepage
pueden ver en la
and heard
página
via
del
council
concilio y
phone.
oír por el
We are
teléfono del
just shy of a
concilio.
quorum right now.
Nomás
We
nos
have
falta
9 members present.
tenemos
We
9
do need 10
presentes,
to
necesitamos 10
officially
para
conduct
oficialmente
business.
conducir
So before
negocios.
beginning with today's
Entonces, antes de empezar con la
agenda,
agenda de hoy,
we do have a couple of
tenemos un par
presentations.
de
I want to begin by
presentaciones. Quiero
recognizing
empezar reconociendo
council members
al
Garcetti,
concilio, el señor
Reyes, and
Reyes
Mr. Pacheco,
y el
if he's in
señor
chambers,
Pacheco para la
to
Cámara
begin
de
with the
Comercio
first
para empezar
presentation.
con la primera presentación.
Councilman Pacheco, if you'd like to join us.
Porque el señor Pacheco se puede estar con nosotros.
Good morning, Council President
Buenos
and
días, presidente,
colleagues.
colegas.
We have a very special
Tenemos una
presentation this
presentación
morning
muy especial esta mañana.
that not only has
No solo
local
tiene
and regional
local
significance,
significancia
but indeed
local,
has
pero
international
tiene internacional.
significance as well. Today,
Hoy
we are celebrating the
estamos
104th
celebrando el
anniversary
300
of the
aniversario
Philippine
de
independence from
la
Spain.
independencia filipina de España.
And we are here today to declare June 12th to the 19th, 2002 as Philippine Independence Week in the city of Los
Semana de
Angeles.
Independencia de
And
los
to celebrate with
Filipinos en Los
us,
Ángeles,
we have a
para
number of
celebrar con
special
nosotros el
guests
nombre de
and dignitaries
invitados y
here, all of
dignitarios,
whom we
todos los
welcome
cuales
to our
le damos la
great
bienvenida
council chambers.
a una cámara de
But just to give you a little bit of background, on June 12, 1898, between 4 and 5 in the afternoon, General Emilio Aguinaldo, in the presence of a huge crowd, proclaimed independence of the Philippines at Cavite el Viejo. For the first time, the Philippine national flag was officially hoisted and the Philippine national anthem was played. The act of the Declaration of Independence was prepared by a man named Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista, who also was given the honor of reading it. There are passages in the Declaration that are patterned after the American Declaration of Independence. The Philippine Declaration was signed by 98 persons, among them an American Army officer who witnessed the proclamation. Members of the City of Los Angeles is home to the largest number of Filipinos living outside the Philippines anywhere in the world, a very large number which reside in our respective districts. Indeed, the City of Los Angeles has 3,000 Filipinos as part of our workforce. So the Filipino community has been an integral part of Los Angeles for a great many years. And this is another element of our diversity. We have had the pleasure to enjoy the history of various communities throughout the world. And the Filipino community is one that adds to that rich cloth, what we call community. I'd like to take this time to ask my colleagues, Eric Garcetti, to say a few words. Councilor?
Thank you very much, Councilmember Reyes. Mabuhay ang Filipino. Long live the Filipino nation and its friendship and its long history with this nation as well. It's an honor to join with everybody here today to celebrate the 104th anniversary of the independence of the Philippine nation. Now, the spirit of the Philippine nation and the independence is much, much longer and much older than 104 years. And the friendship with this city extends to the very beginning of when this city was founded, when in fact there was one person who came here with the pobladores, who was Filipino, in 1781, here to El Pueblo to found what became the city of Los Angeles. So always from the beginning, the city's strength has been the Filipinos that live here, the Filipinos that build this great city, and the Filipinos who help run this amazing city, the most diverse place on the face of the earth. And for me, it's been an honor to represent the heart of Filipino town in the 13th District, in the Temple Beverly area, and to share that with Councilmember Reyes, and to move forward with an initiative to once and for all establish a Filipino town here in Los Angeles. And we have completed completed recently the focus groups with many of the people who live in that area, both Filipino and Latino and others that live in that area, to draw on that rich history and to recognize the contributions of the Filipino American community here in Los Angeles. I look forward to, in the coming year, being able to celebrate perhaps next year our Independence Day with the independence of Filipino town here in Los Angeles as well. It's an honor to have the Consul General here with us and so many of the great guests. I especially want to recognize, as always, our great Filipino veterans who have come here before and the debt of gratitude that we owe all of you. Thank you. And just lastly, before I turn the microphone back, I want to thank the Mayor's office and Mayor Jim Hahn, who is part of this presentation, unfortunately, who could not personally be here today, but whose heart is here with each and every one of you. And the Mayor, I know, joins us in celebrating and making this proclamation such a wonderful one today. So thank you, enjoy this day, and we'll see you at the 105th anniversary next year.
I'd like to invite Councilor Nick Pacheco.
Thank you, Ed. Colleagues, Mr. President, as you know, as Eric has shared with you, Councilor Garcetti, the Filipino community has been a great part of our history. I just want to first of all thank Ye Coronel, the President of Los Angeles Filipino Association of City Employees, the FACE. I want to thank her for working so hard. We know that the employees, a strong number of Filipino employees are what make this city a great city to be a part of. I also want to share with you that when I was on Radio Manila, and I do try to get out there once a month, when the issue of secession came up, I shared with Awi, the host, that I anticipate that the entire Filipino community would be voting against secession because we still have not won the battle in Washington for our Filipino veterans. And that right now the city of Los Angeles is on their side, and we speak as an 800-pound gorilla asking for your rights to be respected and totally given to you. And that no Filipino would vote to create two 98-pound weaklings by voting for secession because of how important the immigration issues are to this community, and most specifically, the issue of bringing justice to our Filipino veterans. And we need to move Congress to do the right thing, and we are all pushing for that you get your respect and rights. So I reassured Awi that from my viewpoint, that there was going to be a strong ally for the city of Los Angeles to keep us as one great city. It would be the Filipino community, along with the Latino communities that I represent on the east side. And I will share with you that I'm also very proud to have a great portion of the Filipino community in Eagle Rock Highland Park area with Philippine Village right there on Eagle Rock Boulevard. And we do our best to be great partners in making things better for the community. And you do your best. And we'll all see you at Philippine Expo next month, right? July 22 is the opening, right? June 22. June 22, Saturday. We'll all see you at the Filipino Expo. It's a great annual event. And of course, as Eric says, long live the Filipino nation. Thank you.
Before I ask the Consular of the Philippines, Ruth Morales Brado, to join us, I'd like to invite and introduce Christine de la Paz, to be accompanied by her father on the guitar and singing Bayanco.
Buenos días.
Unfortunately, we have no setup for the guitar, so I'll just sing it a cappella
voy a
for you.
cantar a capela para ustedes.
Ang bayan kong Pilipinas, lupain ng ginto't bulaklak, pag-ibig ang sa kanyang palad, nagalay ng ganda't dilag. At sa kanyang yumi at ganda, dayuhan ay nahalina.
Bayan ko, binihag ka, nasadlak sa dusa. Ibon mang malayang lumipat, kulungin mo at umiiyak. Bayan pa kayang sakdal dilag, ang di magnasang makaalpas. Pilipinas kong minumutya, pugad ng luha at dalita. Aking adhika, makita kang sagdalaya.
That was beautiful.
Es
Thank you
formal.
very much.
Muy bello. Muchas gracias.
I'd like to invite my
Me
colleagues
gustaría
to
invitar a
join
mis
me
colegas a estar
and
conmigo
ask
y pedir
Ruth Morales Prado
Ruth Morales
if she
Prado
can
que si
step
ella
up to the
puede
mic
pasarse el
and join me
micrófono
in
y estar
giving
conmigo
you this
en darle
proclamation,
esta aclamación
which states,
que
now
dice,
therefore be it
ahora por
resolved
ese resuelto,
that by adoption
que
of
por
this
adopción de esta
resolution,
resolución,
the mayor proclaims
el
and joins the city
presidente de la
council
ciudad
in
proclama y el
declaring
concilio de la
the week
ciudad
of June
proclama
12th to the
la semana de
19th
junio del
as Philippine Independence
19
Week
como
in the
Semana de
city of Los
Independencia de
Angeles,
los Filipinos
and
en la ciudad
join
de
the
Los Ángeles
Filipino-American community
y
of
se
Los
junta
Angeles
la
in
ciudad de los
celebration
Filipinos en
of its
Los Ángeles en
104th
su celebración
anniversary
del aniversario
of
de
Philippine
104 años de
independence.
independencia de los Filipinos.
Good morning.
Buenos días.
On behalf of the Philippine
Parte del
government, the
gobierno de
officers and
los
staff
Filipinos, los oficiales y
of the
equipo
Philippine Consulate General and the whole Filipino
de los
community
Filipinos y
in
toda la
Los
comunidad
Angeles, we
filipina de
say
Los Ángeles,
thank you
pues
very
decimos
much
todos
from
muchas gracias
our deep hearts and
nuestros
maraming
corazones y
salamat
maraming
po. We are going to work
Vamos a
with
trabajar con
the City Council
con el Concilio de la
and the
Ciudad
Mayor
y el alcalde
for future vibrant relationship
para relaciones
and looking
vibrantes en el
forward to a
futuro y
stronger
esperamos ver a más
Makati
fuerte
City, Los Angeles City Sisterhood relationship.
hermana
Maraming
ciudad.
salamat po at mabuhay ang Los Angeles.
Council, I'd like to
Concilio también
take this time
gustaría
with
tomar
us
este tiempo con
for us
nosotros
to introduce
para
some other
presentar a
dignitaries that
los
are here
otros
with us
dignatarios que están
today.
aquí con nosotros.
Francisco Alonso, the city
Francisco
councilman of
Alonso,
the
el
city of Monterey
concilio de la
Park,
ciudad
has
de
joined
Monterey
us.
Park está con nosotros.
Sharon Martinez, city council member, city of
el
Monterey
concilio
Park.
de Monterey Park.
Efren Abati, commissioner, Department of Building and Safety in the city of Los Angeles.
Yo soy de Los Ángeles.
Joseph Ross, commissioner, community relations of the city of Monterey Park.
Relaciones Públicas de Monterey Park.
Members, I'd also like to take the time to thank some of those people who are from our own city family who helped sponsor today's event. We'll be hosting a small gathering later on today in Rotunda. And that is Ye Coronel, who's been acknowledged earlier, Ye, for your great support. Thank you, Ye. She's Director of Housing, Community Development, Office of the Mayor, and President of the Los Angeles Filipino Association of City Employees. Also with us, Chicho Tenza and George Villanueva from Eric Garcetti's office. Councilmember. James Santa Maria from Councilman Pacheco. Thank you. And Ruby De Vera from our office, Council District 1. Thank you so much.
On behalf of the entire City Council of the City of Monterey Park, I have a certificate I want to present to you today, honoring and congratulating you on your great achievement, 104 years of independence. Congratulations.
Felicitaciones.
While you're taking a picture, let me
En San Tomando
recognize
Rachel,
Mr.
quiero reconocer al
Labange
señor
for a
Labange
few words.
con unas cuantas palabras.
Mr. President,
Señor
members of the
Presidente,
council,
miembros del
Habaga,
Council, Abaca,
Humaga,
Humaga,
Salama, to
Salama,
the great Councilman
todo el
Reyes,
Council Reyes.
Garcetti, and Pacheco for bringing us in.
Estamos aquí.
Manda, Filipinos, special greetings to from Gigi Gales of my staff, and also Bella Cabulon, who for years has taught me the great Tagalog language. She works for the mayor, she's an executive with the mayor. But Habaga, Humaga, Hapun this afternoon.
This afternoon.
Thank you, Council President. As you can see, the richness of our city is the fact that we are so diverse. When I think of the struggles of the farm workers, we have to acknowledge the leadership of the Filipino community as it supported Cesar Chavez in that cause. And I need to thank Councilman Pacheco. When I was recently elected as council member, he invited me to the convention. And there I witnessed talents that ranges the whole spectrum. Opera singers, crafts, everything across the board in relation to how the richness of our city is really generated by our diversity. And I want really from the heartfelt thanks to the Filipino community for everything you do for our city. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Reyes. Mr. Rudy Thomas.
Mr. President, members of the council, if you permit me an introduction, we're pleased to have with us this morning students from two local elementary schools, and they are in the chamber today. Why don't we give our representatives from the Filipino community another round of applause, please? Yeah, we appreciate that. Either Mr. Garcetti or Mr. Reyes has to be wearing our shirt, Mr. President. We'll straighten that out in a little bit. One of the two of them have your shirt on, the other has mine on. We will rectify that matter.
Vamos a rectificar eso, uno trae su camisa de usted y otro trae.
The students from the Coliseum
Estudiantes del Coliseo.
Charter Elementary School are here. Give them a big round of applause. Won't you raise your hands, young people? Students from the Coliseum School. And we have students from the Baldwin Hills Elementary School. Won't you raise your hand as well? Give them a big round of applause. They are here being chaperoned by both Ms. Sandra Howell and Zolita Jefferson. Give them a round of applause. They are fifth graders, these young people, and these are schools that are located in the 8th and 10th districts of our city. And we're delighted to have you here. We welcome you to Los Angeles City Hall. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy Thomas. The chair recognizes next Mr. Labange for presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilmember Mark Ridley Thomas. Great to have Coliseum Street School and Baldwin Hills Elementary School. Now we have my elementary school here, so I take the honor of bringing the school that I went to 40 years ago to bring them here. And Miss Sylvia Stansberry is one teacher. Sylvia, come up here, please. Say it again. Strawberg. Sylvia Strawberg. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. And also Rodney Lee. Come on up. Give them a big hand. Guys, all the council chambers to give hands for all our teachers and coaches for what they do. But this class here is a fifth grade class. They've been very involved in their community. They exercise their good neighborhood attitude by going around Los Angeles and visiting Silver Lake Reservoir, which they live not far from that great DWP facility there. They go around Griffith Park and be involved with the activities that our great Los Angeles do. But I wanted to give them a special welcome because when we come from one place and remember from where we come from, when you get to where you get to now, you feel pretty good. So as a graduate of Ivanhoe School, class of 1964, it's my honor, some 28 years later, to present this commendation to the outstanding work of the teachers, students, and community at Ivanhoe for their accomplishments and their ability to push the children out in the community, around, not only in the classroom, but around our great city of Los Angeles, and salute their teachers and all of them at Ivanhoe for continued success. Please join in me in this special welcome of recognition for Ivanhoe Elementary School for the Silver Lake District in the city of Los Angeles. Rodney Lee to say a few words on behalf of the students and teachers.
I just want to thank the committee for this recognition, and we work hard, we love our jobs as teachers in LA and working with kids. Thank you.
Good. Big hand for all the teachers, and also, where's the guy who beat me in track? Yeah, but here's Devin right here. I was at school about 3 or 4 months ago. I know we have the city champs in here. He beat me. It wasn't a 440, but he beat me in the full lap. Give Devin a big hand. What do you say, huh?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much, members of council.
Thank you, Mr. Labange. And thank you to all the kids. The chair recognizes next Mr. Zine for presentation.
Thank you, Mr. President, colleagues. I have presentations today for Grover Cleveland High School, followed by, don't say no yet, Birmingham High School. I wasn't going to forget you, Birmingham. You got VIP seating, and they had to go through security, and they were delayed, so that's why they're standing and you're not. As they say, the early bird gets the seating. At any rate, Grover Cleveland High School varsity baseball team, which will be joining me momentarily. They're coming into the back door. And I want to introduce the coaches. And let me give you a little information about the team. Grover Cleveland High School varsity baseball team won the 2002 CIF City Championship Tuesday, June 4th with a 1-0 victory over Sylmar High School at Dodger Stadium. I think Sylmar High School is in our council president's district, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Sylmar High? We beat the 7th district. This group posted an amazing 5-0 record, capturing the 2002 Los Angeles Daily News Invitational Championship to begin the season. Just as amazing is the team's preseason record, playing 9 games in 10 days, resulting in a 9-0 record. I'm pleased to have the 2002 Los Angeles City Championship baseball team here today to say congratulations and thank you for being wonderful ambassadors for the city of Los Angeles. And if they're here, here they are, gentlemen. Come forward, please. And we have the coaches. Come on, gentlemen. And I have the coaches with me. Joe Cascione, who's the head coach, Ruben Marcial, and Stu Goodman, and Archie Estrada. Pardon? And Mark Nishak. Those are the coaches for the team, and you are the head coach for the baseball team. The microphone's yours. Right.
Thank you very much for
Muchas
having us
gracias por
today.
tenernos
It
hoy.
was a great
Fue un gran
year for Cleveland High
año
School.
para Cleveland High School.
The kids worked really
Los
hard.
muchachos fueron
and,
trabajando muy duro.
Their preparation and
Su
work ethic
preparación y
throughout the
ética
whole
de
year
trabajo por todo el año
really paid off at the
les
end.
pagó al
And
final.
thank you
Y
very much
muchas
for having
gracias
us
por
here.
tenernos hoy aquí.
This is a tremendous
Este
honor
es
for
un
us in our
honor tremendo
program
para nuestro
and,
programa.
and a tremendous honor for Cleveland High School.
Honor
Thank you
para
very much.
la High School de Cleveland. Muchas gracias.
Team captain here.
Usted tiene al capitán aquí.
And Mark?
Y Mark.
Team captain? Robert? When you're the team captain, you wear the bars. You wear the bars, you say the words.
Usted dice las
It's
palabras.
yours.
Es de usted.
Thank you. Once again, I just want to thank you guys for having us today. Congratulate my team and thank you to my coach and the staff.
Y al equipo.
Basically the same thing. Thank you for having us
Muchas
here.
gracias por
And,
tenernos aquí.
thank you to my
Y
coach.
gracias a
and,
mi
we've had a great
coach,
year.
que
And,
es un gran
I
año.
want to thank you.
Y quiero dar las gracias.
We'll be doing photos in
Estamos
the back
viendo
room
fotos en el
with the
cuarto de
team, with
tres
the
con el equipo,
coaches.
con los coaches.
The third district has a few high schools. El Camino's won awards, accolades. Cleveland's won awards, accolades. Birmingham has won awards and accolades. So people who say El Unified has some problems, the high schools in the third district, San Fernando Valley, are doing extremely well in academics and also athletics. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Zine. Muchas gracias, señor Zine.
Mr. Zine, even though you're the team from your district beat the team from my district, I just want to emphasize that this continues the Valley dominance when it comes to baseball in the city of Los Angeles. So we congratulate the team.
And we'll do photos in the back room with the team as they meet back there. And you're all going to be on television, so smile bright.
They're usually not this quiet or this shy on the ball field.
And now we have another Los Angeles Unified School that I'm proud to recognize. And we're going to bring up the Birmingham High School varsity football team. Come on up, guys. And if I can have the coaches please join me. Ed Croson, Henrik Caruth. Can we let the coaches up front? And no Gatorade here, by the way. No Gatorade. You know how you dump the Gatorade on the, The coach is coming through, guys. Make a hole for the coach. There we go. All right, we have the Birmingham High School varsity football team and the head coach. We have other coaches who are not here. I'm going to let Ed give their names. We have the team members with us. They won the 2002 West Valley Conference Championship. The recent East-West football game was played at Birmingham High School, and again, the West prevailed and beat the East. So we are definitely playing dominance out there in the West San Fernando Valley. We have congratulations. It's okay, we got more here. We've got many more here. And all of you are going to be receiving, oh, that's right. All of you are going to be receiving certificates. Someone got to hold that microphone up there. How's that? There you go. There you go, Coach. Okay, Coach, the microphone's yours.
We really appreciate the City Council recognizing the effort of these young people. This is was an exciting group to watch, and we sure a lot of fun. And but once again, thanks a lot for recognizing their accomplishments.
And do we have a team captain here? Come on, Captain. Make it good.
I'd just like to say that we worked hard to get where we're at and it's finally paid off.
Congratulations.
And chaps up.
All right, back of the room. We're going to go back there for the photos. Oh, we're going to have you sit back down, then we're going to bring up the track team. All right. Football, let me give you these also, Coach. Football. Well, that's okay, we can do that presentation. Yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. And these are the certificates for your coaches.
Thanks a lot. We brought something for you to remember us by, too. We'd like to have one of our team hats. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Gracias.
Birmingham football. And following football, we have the track and field team. And I have with me the coach, the head coach,
el coach principal,
Scott King. Scott, congratulations. Come forward, please. And we have with us another coach.
Coach.
Caruth? Okay. There are other coaches who are not here this morning with us. We have the track and field team. Congratulations on your victory. And you again, 2002 Los Angeles City champions from Birmingham High School. Congratulations to the Birmingham High track and field team for all the work that you and your folks have done. The microphone's yours.
What a thrill to be here. You know, it's not only a thrill for the kids, but it really is a thrill for the coaches. So often, the good things that happen in our schools aren't recognized, and we thank you for doing that today. You know, in track and field is a big sport in Los Angeles. If you took this city has produced more Olympians and world champions than any other city in the world. So we're very, very proud of being a part of that tradition. I'd like to introduce a couple of the city champions, if I could. First of all, on the 110 high hurdles, Jihad Jones. Dennis Keys, excuse me. In the 300 hurdles, Jihad Jones. High jumper, Mark Davila. And then a two-time city champion in the 800 meters and 1600 meters, Dennis Rinaldi. Damian Rinaldi. I'm doing real good up here. I'd also like to thank, you don't do this alone. And would like to thank our administration, Doris Lassiter, assistant principal Steve Shapiro, and then our fine athletic director Rick Prasad. Once again, thank you so much for honoring these young people. And maybe we should have someone speak for the team. Tyrone, okay?
I just like to say it's an honor running for Birmingham Track. I've learned a lot from Coach King, my sprint coach, Coach Caruth, and that is my last year. I hope that the next year that the next city champions come up here again and represent for us.
It may not be your last year because there's always college and there's always the major league. So tonight what's going to happen in the world of television, athletics, who's going to be playing tonight? Who's going to be winning tonight? The Lakers. You guys are from Los Angeles. He's from New York.
Mr. Stein, before you go, I'd like to recognize Mr. LaBonge.
Our historian, the Councilor Tom LaBonge.
I want to thank Councilman Zion, Mr. President. Coach, congratulations to the athletes. Track and field is the toughest sport because it's an individual sport. It's absolutely individual, and you have to work hard every day. For those of you who are continuing your education, work very hard at it because it will lead to a greater life. But also transform your sport into a life sport and continue to run and jump and do the great things that it's all about. Thank your coaches. And I have the fortune to thank members of council for our team. I went to John Marshall in Los Angeles. We didn't have track teams, but we had a great track man, Mike Haynes, who's a Hall of Famer and a former Raider. We had a great camaraderie. And look around at your faces the last few weeks of schools. All this team, the high jumpers, the long jumpers, the long jumpers not here today, but there he is, good job. The sprinters, the distance people, it's all real important. I just want to congratulate you for your hard work and enjoy your youth. It's a great time of life. Congratulations, Coach. Congratulations to all of you.
On behalf of the Birmingham track team, and first of all, I'd like to thank the city for giving us your time and allowing us to come down here. But on behalf of the Birmingham track team and all the fine young men behind me who put in all the work, we'd like to present the councilman with a token of our appreciation. One of our city championship shirts.
Thank you, team members.
Gracias, miembros del
Tom Bradley, Birmingham High School Stadium, Birmingham High and Balboa and Victory, the Tom Bradley Stadium there at the northwest corner of Burbank, Victory and Balboa. It used to be a military hospital many years ago. It's a proud school in our San Fernando Valley. Congratulations to every one of you. We can go back and take some pictures and give you your certificates of recognition. Congratulations again. Mr. President, thank you.
Mr. Zine, members of the public, members of the council, I believe we have constituted quorum. I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Brinson, Galento, Garcetti, Gruel, Han, Holden, Labange, Mizikowski, Pacheco, Perry, Reyes, Verde, Thomas, Weisslein, Padilla, 12 members present, and a quorum, Mr. President.
The council meeting is officially called to order. First order of business, please.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Garcetti moves and Ms. Mizikowski seconds.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Verde Thomas moves and Mr. Labange seconds.
On the regular agenda, Mr. President, item number 1 is an item notice for public hearing. Planning land use management report is to be submitted.
Representative number 1 now before us. I do not have requests from the public to address the council on this item. We shall deem the public hearings opened and closed. Any members wishing to call item one special? Mr. Reyes. Ms. Mizikowski.
Yes, I'd like to continue item number 1 till Tuesday, because of yesterday's deliberations, we did not have the plum committee, so we need to review this coming Tuesday, and we'll get to the council on that day.
Is there a plum meeting between now and next Tuesday?
Well, can I suggest that we continue this till next Wednesday so that we can have 1 week? So continue it 1 week so we can have the plum meeting on Tuesday and then have the city council on Wednesday morning. And let me also suggest that we not open and close the public hearing because as a consequence of it being an appeal, we may want to have a public hearing in council after it's been heard in the committee.
Okay, then we shall reopen the public hearing at that time. Any objection to continuing item number 1 for 1 week? Seeing none, item 1 shall be so continued, that date being June 19th. Next item, please.
Next item, Mr. President, items for which public hearings have been held, items 2 through 10, items 3 and 4 are Arts, Health, and Humanities reports. The committee did not meet yesterday, and I believe Mr. Weiss has a motion on those two.
Items 3 and 4, Mr. Weiss.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item 3, I would move the CAO report. On item 4, I would move for the designated so indicated in the matter and move for their approval.
Now, the Madam Clerk just explained the committees did not meet.
Yes, Mr. President, the committees did not meet, so there is no report to be submitted. So a motion is required on those that Mr. Weiss just made.
Okay, Mr. Motion makes those motions on items 3 and 4. We have items 2 and 10, members. Public hearing had been held in committee. Any specials? Item 7 called special by Mr. Garcetti. Any other specials? Items 2 through 10. Any other specials? Items 2 through 10, seeing none. We have item 7 called special, and Mr. Weiss's motions on items 3 and 4. Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
Ayes. 11 ayes.
Okay, those matters are approved.
Asuntos están aprobados.
Next items, please.
Próximo asunto, por favor.
Next items, Mr. President, items 11 through 50 are items for which public hearings have not been held.
Items 11 through 50, members without objection, we shall consider these items today. Do not have requests, members of the public, to be heard with the exception of item number 44. So we shall call item 44 special. Members wishing to call any other specials.
Also number 17.
También el número 17, también 17 llamado especial para el señor Weiss.
Any other
¿Algún
specials?
otro especial? 30,
38.
38.
Call special by
Tema
Mr.
especial
Holden.
por el señor Holden.
Any other specials?
¿Algún otro especial?
Seeing none,
Dígase
Madam
ninguno.
Clerk, please open the roll on the
Secretario,
balance
por
of the
favor,
items.
salirse en el balance de los asuntos.
Please close the
Por
roll
favor, ciérrese la lista
and
y
tabulate the vote.
tabúlese el voto.
12 ayes.
12 sí.
Those matters are approved.
Esos asuntos están aprobados.
Next item, please.
Próximo
Next
asunto,
item,
por
Mr.
favor,
President, going back to the
presidente,
items called
regresando a los
special.
asuntos,
Item
vamos
number 7 was
asunto
called
número
special
7,
by
vamos
Council
especial.
Member
Con el
Garcetti,
Consejo
and there is an
Garcetti,
amending
y hay
motion.
una
Before
moción de
considering
amendamiento.
matters
Antes de
called
considerar
special,
las cosas
unless
más
there's
especiales,
an
hay una
objection,
objeción.
we do have our city controller
Tenemos al
here on item
controlador
number
de la ciudad,
44.
que el asunto
So I
número
would like to take
44, me
item
gustaría tomar el
44 out of
44
order.
fuera de orden.
There's quite a
Hay
few
bastantes
cards submitted on item
tarjetas sometidas en el 44.
44. People wishing
La
to
gente
address
que
the council on this
hablará al
item.
concilio en este asunto.
Before proceeding to public
Antes
hearing,
de
let me
proceder a la audiencia
just
pública,
explain a
quiero
couple of
explicar
things.
algunas
What I would like to
cosas. Lo que
do
me
is
gustaría hacer
recognize
es
Mr.
reconocer
White's
al señor
first as the
Weiss,
maker of the
presento
motion.
como
I believe he has a possible change or
productor
amendment to his
de la
motion
moción, inscrito
that
en
we
la
should
amendment
hear
de la moción que debemos oír
before
antes
proceeding to
de
public
proceder al
comment.
comentario
We also
público.
have
También
our city
tenemos
controller
el
here
control
who
de la
wishes to
ciudad
address the
que
council and the members of the
tiene que
public
hablar al
here on this
concilio y
item.
miembros del público en este asunto otra
We should
vez.
hear from her.
Vamos a oír allá.
After hearing from
Después de
Mr.
oír
Weiss, after
al
hearing
señor
from Ms.
White,
Chick, we will
después de oír al
proceed with
señor
public
Luis,
comment
proceder al
on item
comentario público
44.
en el asunto
For the members
44.
of the
Ahora, para los
council,
miembros del consejo,
have your
si
attention and
puedo
the
tener
members
su
of the
atención,
public
los
who are
miembros
here
del
on item
público que están aquí en
44,
el asunto
let me also
44.
remind us all and
Quizás se me recuerde
clarify
entonces en
that there
clarificar
are two elements to
hay dos
item
elementos para el
44.
asunto
One, the
44.
first is
Uno,
a
el
question of
primero es
whether or
una
not to
pregunta que
assert
sí
jurisdiction
tiene una cierta
over the
jurisdicción
commission
en la
action.
comisión, la
The
acción de la
council will
comisión.
vote
El
on
concilio va a
that
votar en
first.
eso primero.
Second, there will be discussion
Segundo, que va a
and
haber
possibly a
discusión y
vote on
posiblemente
the
un
subject
voto en
matter
el sujeto.
itself. So it's 2 points.
Entonces hay dos
One is
puntos.
whether or
Uno
not
es que
the city
sí o no
council
el
should
concilio
assert
se debe
jurisdiction over the commission
hacer
action,
cierta
and then the
jurisdicción
subject matter as a
y
separate
el
and
asunto que sea
second
separada y
point.
segundo
So with
punto.
that
Entonces, con
clarification,
esa
let us begin.
clarificación vamos a
The chair
empezar. La
recognizes
silla
Mr. Weiss.
reconoce al señor Weiss.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate your
Presidente,
courtesy
aprecio su
in,
cortesía
and the order in which
y
you
la
have
orden en la que usted
determined
ha
that we will
determinado
proceed
que
today.
vamos a proceder
I want
hoy.
to say
Y
to
quiero decir
my
a
friends in the
mis
audience
amigos
today, I
en
know
la
there are many
audiencia,
people
yo
here
creo que mucha
today
gente hoy aquí
who have concerns
que
about item
conocen el
44.
asunto
I have heard your
44. Yo he
concerns,
oído
and I
sus
think
preocupaciones.
they are valid to a
Son
large extent.
válidas
There
en
is
gran
a
extensión, pero
paragraph
hay un
in
párrafo
this motion that
en esta
frankly was
moción
not
que
my
realmente
intent
no
in
fue mi
bringing the
intención
motion
de traer la
forward.
moción para
And
adelante.
when we get
Y
to
cuando
the
lleguemos a
appropriate point
al
in
punto
our
apropiado en
proceedings,
nuestro procedimiento,
procedurally, I will be
proceduralmente
moving
voy a estar
to remove
removiendo
the second
el
moving
segundo
paragraph in this
párrafo en este-
motion, namely the one that relates to a
la
temporary
conservación,
moratorium on any and all
moratorium temporal en
contracts in the
todos los
public benefits
contratos,
group over
beneficios,
$1,000 in the
más allá de
DWP.
$1,000 en
That way,
DWP.
what will be
En eso,
before
lo
us
que está
is
frente a nosotros
all I
va a
intended to
ser todo lo
have
que
before
intentaba
us
yo tener es
to
era
begin with,
para
and that
empezar,
is to
era
narrowcast
que
ourselves to a discussion
para una
of one
discusión
contract,
de un
one
contrato, de un
contract that's a
contrato
multi-million
que sea
dollar,
un-
multi-year contract that was
un contrato que fue
approved by the
aprobado
board of the DWP,
por la
despite the
Cámara
fact
WP, por-
that what we
aparte del
have
hecho de que lo que
ongoing right
tenemos
now
ahorita
is a
es-
very serious
es
and
un-
thorough
es muy serio y un
examination
examen muy-
of matters relating to the public benefits
causas
group by
relacionadas
the
con
city
beneficio por
controller.
el controlador de la ciudad.
I do not
Yo
object
no me
to any of the
objeto
work
a
that is
ningún
being done
trabajo que se
under
haya
this
hecho
contract,
bajo
because
este
frankly, I'm
contrato,
as
porque
strong a
siento-
supporter of green
soy
power
supporter del
as
poder
anybody
como
in the audience. And
cualquiera
because I'm a
en la
strong
audiencia, y
supporter
porque
of
soy un gran
it,
soportador
I
de
think
eso,
it is
yo
critical
creo que es
that we make
crítico
sure
que
that we are
nosotros estamos
getting
seguros que estamos agarrando
every bang we can
todo
possibly
eso
get for
que
every
debemos,
buck that we're
por todo
permitted
lo que
to spend on
debemos
it. Because as
gastar en
all of you
eso,
know,
por todos ustedes saben,
it is extraordinarily
es
difficult
extraordinariamente
to get
dificultoso
government
agarrar
off the
gobierno
dime and
por el
spend
día y
funds that
gastar
are so
fondos que
desperately
son
needed in the
desesperadamente
environmental
necesitados
arena,
en la
both
arena del
at the
medio
CBO CEO level and at the regional level. And so it's my intent that we spend that money, but that we spend it wisely. I would have no objection, and hopefully later on we'll hear a presentation from Mr. Wiggs of the Department of Water and Power, were this contract to continue on a month-to-month basis, for example, pending the outcome of the audit. That would be, in my view, perhaps a responsible and measured position for the Department of Water and Power Commissioners to take. Should they take that, I don't anticipate there being any controversy. But it is very hard to explain to the public why, given the controversy attendant to this set of contracts, and given the close scrutiny that the Comptroller's Office is placing these contracts under right now, it is very hard to explain to the public why a multi-year, multi-million-dollar grant is appropriate. Indeed, I think discretion is the better part of valor here, and we ought to exercise our jurisdiction today, assert jurisdiction, but in the very narrow sense, should people on the council wish to send the matter to committee for further study, I would have no objection to that. Ms. Galanter's not here, but it would go to her committee, and as I told her last week, that would be fine with me. But it's very important that we send a message in this city that we're doing business differently. Well, thank you, Mr. President.
Anytime.
Nice to see you there.
Thank you.
And so for that reason, I will be making the motion to narrowcast the motion that is before us today. I think we should hear now from our city controller, who's been doing a terrific job of making sure that we are efficient and effective in the spending of our environmental dollars in this city, and then proceed to a discussion from the public. But I do appreciate the courtesy the President gave me to introduce the debate today so that people understand it is about this one narrow issue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Weiss. We'll now hear from the Controller, Ms. Chet, if you'd come forward for your presentation. Members of the council, I wish you to know that there are several persons in the audience who do wish to be heard. And so immediately after Ms. Chet's presentation, we'll go to public comment. Ma'am?
Yes, Mr. President and council members, and I'm also addressing especially members of the audience who are here today to speak to you on this. In fact, I really shouldn't be here today before you. About a month ago, I wrote the Board of Commissioners of the Department of Water and Power and reminded them that not only was there an internal audit going on within the department, but that the department and department management had in fact joined with me as a team. They are funding the audit that we are conducting with outside experts. And that audit is going on for one purpose and one purpose only, to take a look at how the Green Power program has been operating and how we can make it even better, and how we can take those precious dollars and make sure they're being spent on the right environmental causes, on the right services related to conservation and environmentalism in our many neighborhoods and communities. What this is about today, and why I went to your colleague, Mr. Weiss, and asked him to introduce this motion on my behalf, is that the Commission chose to ignore my request, to wait just a couple of months, that after all, as decision makers, and you as decision makers, responsible and accountable to the people who voted for you, not true for the Commission, however, that you would want to look at the results of a very in-depth audit, of two audits, to make sure that these $60 million a year are being spent well and wisely in the best way for the best causes, for green power. It doesn't make good government sense. It's business as usual. It's business as usual, the very things we have to change in how contracts are awarded and how these decisions are made. It doesn't make good government sense to go ahead and lock into a new multi-year, multi-million-dollar public relations contract while an audit is being done. And the audit is being done over a period of time in which the same contractor has been operating, doing similar services for 4 years. So it's part of what we're looking at. This is not about a single contractor or a single contract. It's really about good government. It's about being accountable to the people who elected us, who elected me, and saying, we put audits, performance audits in the new charter for a very good reason, because we want to ask, how are we doing, and how can we do it better?
In the letter I wrote you
En
several
la
weeks
carta que
ago,
nos dio hace un
I
par de
suggested
semanas, yo
a very
sugerí
sensible way to
una manera
maintain
muy sensible de
continuity,
mantener continuidad,
to not have
que no
disruption in
tener
important
disrupción
services
en
with
los servicios
nonprofits, with
importantes,
environmental
cancelaciones,
groups, with
con grupos
community-based
de medio
organizations,
ambiente,
that the way to go is
organizaciones del
month to
vecindario, de la
month.
manera
You know and I
que
know
debe ser es de mes a mes.
that
Ustedes
Department
saben
of
y yo
Water
sé
and
que
Power and every other
Punto de Luz y
department in this
Forcero y
city
todos los departamentos de esta ciudad
often goes month to month
muy seguido
when
van
there
de mes a
hasn't
mes cuando
been
no se ha
time to go
habido el
out
tiempo
or
para salir
other reasons.
o otras
This reason
razones.
is a good
Esta
reason.
razón es buena
Month to
razón.
month,
De mes a
2
mes,
months
2
maximum.
meses máximo.
The audit should be finished in a
El
month.
audito
Give
debe
yourselves
terminar en
3
un
to
mes,
4
debe ser en
weeks
3 a 4
to
semanas
scrutinize the
para
results of the
hacer los
audit
resultados de
and
la
make some
auditoría
good
y
and
hacer
wise
unas
decisions.
decisiones
And then
muy
this contract
sabias. Y
can go
este
forward
contrato puede
full
seguir
bore
adelante,
or not.
adelante o no.
So I ask you
Entonces
for your
pido
support
por
today, for your
soporte hoy,
support
por su
for
soporte,
Council Members
por el
Weiss and Zines'
concilio
motion,
Weiss y la moción del señor Sainz,
to send a message
para mandar
back to
un
the
mensaje a
Commission
la comisión
that we
que
are paying
nosotros
attention
estamos
to what
poniendo
the public
atención en lo
expects
que
of
el pueblo
us in
espera de
terms of how their
nosotros
tax
y
dollars
cómo
are
nuestros
spent,
impuestos se
and that
gastan
month to
y
month
que
is
de
the
mes a
wise and
mes es
responsible way to
la manera
go.
más juiciosa y la
And
manera de
then
ir.
you'll make
Y ustedes
decisions
van a
after
hacer
the audit is
decisiones
out.
después de que
I
salga la
thank you very
auditoría.
much
Les doy
for your
muchas
time
gracias
and for
por
your
su
interest,
tiempo,
and I hope for
por
your
su
support.
interés y espero
Thank
su
you.
soporte.
Thank you, Ms. Jay.
Gracias,
We do have several
tenemos
items,
varios
persons
asuntos,
wishing to be
personas que
heard,
desean ser oídas.
both for and against the matter before us. We'll begin by Pete Manzo, followed by
Seguido por María
Kravovich, Denise Loffman, Jerry Blatt, Ann Gray, Saren Chrisbaum, in that order. So if you would just simply line up so that we can get to you as quickly as possible, it would be greatly appreciated. Please be mindful of the fact there are several persons wishing to be heard, and to the extent that is the case, if you would govern your comments by brevity, the council and the audience would would appreciate it. Thank you.
Gracias.
Morning, honorable members. Thank you
miembros
for giving me the
honorables,
opportunity to
gracias por darme la
speak.
oportunidad de
I'm going to
hablar.
restrict my comments and try to make them brief. I just want to talk a little bit about the DWP and Leandros Group's involvement in supporting nonprofit and community organizations throughout the city of Los Angeles. And in particular, we worked with DWP and Leandros Group last year to hold the first that we know of ever citywide conference of nonprofit and community groups. It was held last March at USC. It was called the Race Summit, and we had over 400 representatives of grassroots community organizations throughout the city attending. And we had a program talking about building the capacity of those organizations, as well as the importance of green power and the general utility issues. We're in the process of planning for another Race Summit to be held this September. It's a fantastic event, a great way to support community organizations and nascent neighborhood councils, and we need to be able to plan ahead to do that. So a month-to-month issue might throw the whole thing into doubt. But if you don't remember anything else I said, I just want to say that the work that DWP and Leandros Group do with community organizations throughout the city is a very vital link of support for community organizations. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello. My name is Maria Kravchevich, and I'm from the California Energy Commission, from the Renewable Energy Program Consumer Education. As a state, we have a huge task before us, and that is to educate the Californian, everyone from the residential customer to business, about using renewable energy. We cannot do it alone. We have a contract over $2 million to help promote our message about renewable energy. So timing is everything. Use your contracts, use your vendors, because that's how you get your message out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. My name is Anne Gray. I'm an architect speaking for the American Institute of Architects. With respect to DWP Solar, and I understand the agenda item's been changed significantly, but in the long term, this solar program is very, very exciting. These are not your father's solar panels. From an energy point of view and a design point of view, they are tremendous. The program is The architects are woefully ignorant of this program, and I think it's crucial that DWP Solar be allowed to take a long-term perspective and develop a real serious strategy to get the message out to the people who are actually implementing the solar energy panels. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, name.
Hi, my name's Denise Lockman. I'm from Global Green USA, the U.S. affiliate of Green Cross International, and I'm just here to support the continuation of the DWP Green LA program. Our President Mikhail Gorbachev recognized this program in October of 2002 with our Millennium Award for Local Environmental Leadership. And I just want to encourage the Council to continue this program over the summer with a continuing contract, because it is a model example of local efforts that will enhance the development of renewable energy resources and energy efficiency and combats global climate change. Thank you.
We thank you for your testimony. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. I'm Jerry Black, Director of Program Marketing for KCET, here in support of the DWP Green LA program. Last year, KCET and LADWP entered into a partnership that allowed each of our community-focused organizations to better serve our viewers and DWP customers. Through this partnership, KCET has been able to become much more energy efficient, and LADWP has been able to reach its customers with information regarding the important green power messages, particularly the availability of customer rebates for improving energy efficiency. Through this partnership with LADWP, KCET was able to replace a worn-out chiller with a new reliable one to cool our sound stages. If it were not for the Green Power Green LA rebate program and the willingness of the LADWP to exchange their services and products for the ability to air their announcements to the public via KCET and present the Green LA program, KCET would not have been able to make this necessary purchase. In addition, the Green Power program enabled us to become more energy efficient by adding new window film, replacing our lighting, and installing a new energy-efficient roof. In turn, KCET carried the important LADWP informational announcements to its viewers. In carrying out our educational mission, KCET has always been particularly effective at reaching business and community decision makers, as well as environmentally conscious viewers. So we're the perfect platform to carry this Green LA story. The Green LA program is innovative, efficient, and necessary program, but requires LADWP customers to take action. And this is the issue.
Pardon me, sir. Sergeant, the noise level is getting to be intolerable. Sir, may I suggest to you that there's a line forming behind you
I'll be less than a minute.
that's growing almost exponentially, and so...
Okay, I will be less than a minute. Okay. The key issue here is that people need to spend money to install solar panels, change lighting systems, and do other things to sign up to green power. It's these benefits that people get, but they have to take action. We're heading into the warm summer months. If the program is impeded in any way, this is the time when people use the most amount of energy.
We thank you for your testimony very much. There's a line. Ma'am, your name?
My name is Saran Kirschbaum.
Okay, all right. You're the last person that I called. Let me call on the following people as you proceed. Lee Wallach. Those who are in the line have to be called pursuant to the cards that have been submitted. Mike Gardner. Sharita Austin. Michael Cunningham, Tim Carmichael. In that order, please, ma'am, proceed.
I'm with the Coalition on the Environment and Jewish Life, and I will tell you that without Lee Andrews and the DWP, the faith communities would not be involved in helping to green Los Angeles. They started over 3 or 4 years ago. They have been incredible. We have reached thousands and thousands of people. This is not a matter necessarily of people doing the right thing. It's people know what the right thing is to do, and we're helping them to do it. What is the faith communities are doing, they're saying this is a moral and ethical issue. We should start behaving as if this is the 21st century. And we really need Lee Andrews in DWP, and they really get three whatever you call it. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Lee Wallach. He is not here. The following person, Mike Gardner.
Mike Gardner.
Mike Gardner,
Mike
please.
Gardner, por favor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm president
Soy
of the
presidente
Institute of Heating and Air Conditioning Industries. We're an industry trade group whose members employ tens of thousands of Southern California residents. I'm also the second generation president of Mediterranean Heating and Air Conditioning, and contracting firm. We were founded back in 1968, and today employ over 60 people in Canoga Park. The Green LA program is beneficial on many levels and has a positive impact on our community, our city, our state, and even our country. By my best guess, the Green LA program has been instrumental in my firm helping its customers eliminate power demand by about 1,000 megawatt hours annually. This alone stops millions of pounds of pollutants and greenhouse gases from entering the atmosphere. It's important to know that conservation from solar and increased air conditioning efficiency reduces power demand when it is needed most during peak afternoon periods. Conservation is something that benefits everyone, whether they participate or not. For example, if your neighbor purchases an efficient air conditioner or solar electric system, you win because of the reduced electrical demand on the grid. You win cleaner air. You win reduced global warming. You win lower energy costs due to lower demand. The Green LA Conservation Program has forced my suppliers to provide higher efficiency products and technologies at lower prices. LA is known throughout the industry as the place to have the best minds on conservation products. This leads to the creation of more high-paying jobs in Los Angeles. The Green LA program has been directly responsible for my firm hiring over 20 people. And although most of these people have had a high school education, many did not. Only one of them had a college degree. Many of these people perhaps could not see a way to participate in the American dream. The Green LA program has allowed us not only to hire them, but it allows us to provide the proper training to put them on a path to a very lucrative career in an industry where even the smallest of firms provide good benefits, such as ongoing training, health care, paid vacation, career advancements, and more. If you multiply the experiences of my firm by hundreds of other firms, you can see that participate in the program. You can see how important this program is.
Sir, are you about to conclude?
Yes, I am.
All right.
We appreciate Mr. Weiss's changing in the motion, and just want you to know that it's very important for the continuation of the program that is continually ongoing. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Next speaker, please.
Mr. President, I'm Michael Cunningham, the Administrator of the Episcopal Diocese of Los Angeles, the co-chair of the Los Angeles Interfaith Environmental Council. I stand before you today to urge your continuing support of the Green Power initiatives of the Department of Water and Power and the work of the Lee Andrews Group as it continues. The Episcopal Diocese of Los Angeles is one of the first supporters of the Green Power programs and has remained one of its top primary corporate supporters. We found this to be a theological issue that linked all faiths, and that green power participation by the diocese has always been seen by us as an issue that has to do with the stewardship of all creation. There are some 90,000 Episcopalians in the Diocese of Los Angeles. More than half of our churches are located in the DWP service area. Almost a fourth of them located in the San Fernando Valley, along with 9 of our schools and 3 of our primary institutions. The participation of our
la
churches
producción de
and
nuestras
schools in these
escuelas
programs mirrors what
iglesias
we teach our children about caring for the earth.
refleja lo que
We
nosotros
hold these
importa.
programs
El
up
mundo,
as an
estos
example of
programas es
what
un
we teach
ejemplo de
our
lo que
children.
hacemos a nuestros
Materials made available to
materiales
us through
hechos
the
para
exemplary
nosotros
work of the Lee Andrews Group supplements our
grupo de Leandro
curriculums,
es un
informs
currículum,
our
informa
parents,
a nuestros
and helps
padres
to
y
educate
ayuda
our adult
a educar a
education
nuestra
groups
educación
throughout our churches and our
por todas las
schools
iglesias y
about the
escuelas acerca de
responsibility
la
that we
responsabilidad
have
que
to
nosotros
the
tenemos,
generations that come
las
after us,
generaciones que
to
vienen de
care for the
nosotros para
earth that
cuidar
God has given us. There are currently
mundo que
plans for
Dios nos
10
da.
more micro-generators at sanitary
Más
landfill
cristianos
sites to produce some
para
15
producir
megawatts of
50
clean energy.
watts de energía
There's been
limpia.
recovered over
Ha sido recuperada como
830,000 kilowatt
830,000
requests for solar power through these programs.
para solar.
Energy efficiency programs have saved over 50 kilowatts this year. Electric vehicles are beginning to take their place in our driving habits in the city. Councilmember Garcetti is frequently parking his electric vehicle in front of the cathedral in Echo Park. Now, this has already resulted in saving some 60,000 gallons of gasoline, prevented over 1 million pounds of greenhouse gas emissions, and eliminated 12,000 pounds of smog-producing chemicals. In other words, the work you are doing benefits the citizens of the city that you serve. There's an urgent need to increase the city's participation in these safe, clean, and theologically sound programs. The work done by the Lee Andrews Group in support of these programs is the reason so much participation has already happened and will continue to happen. The future livability of our city depends on reducing emissions and pollution. The green power initiatives, from planting trees to cool schools to increasing our use of renewable resources, is the key to our future growth as a city.
I'm going to ask that you conclude
Yes,
if
sir.
you would.
I urge you, in the name of the people in our churches, in our mosques, in our temples, and the citizens of the city, to fully support the continuance, the growth, and the expansion of these critical programs to the city of Los Angeles. I understand the resolution and the 2-month continuance, but what I'm saying to you is that the 2 months of the summer are the hottest time of the year, and we need to move forward on a long-term plan. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you for your testimony. Members of the council, we have approximately 25 more speaker cards. We've held the public hearing for approximately 15 minutes. What is your pleasure? I'm sorry? Move additional time, and what specific amount would you move, Mr. Council? A 10-minute additional time. Without objection, then we will proceed with the speaker's list as it has been identified. Ma'am, your name?
Mrs. Sylvia Lady Hawkins.
Ms. Hawkins, I don't know that your card was in the batch that I called just now.
It's up and also number 17, and I'm about to turn to number 38.
No, on this particular item.
Yes, on number 44, I have turned it in first.
You may have turned it in. Did I call your name?
No, sir.
All right, well, then I will.
I gave it to the officer right
That's
here.
fine, but I'm calling on those who have presented cards and whose names I've called. Yours may be in the stack to be called. Those names that I called. Ma'am, if you would please relinquish the microphone so that we can proceed, that would be helpful. And if your name is here, I will be sure to call it, all right? Thank you very much. Those who I called, would you please come forward? Mr. Wallach, Mr. Carmichael, Ms. Cohen, Kaleo, Ashley Simpkins, David Rosenstein, Joel Davidson, in that order, please. Sir.
In the interest of brevity, I will make this very short. My partner has spoken about the need for this body to think critically, carefully. These are moral issues that we're dealing with. These are Angelinos and the issues that they will face during the hot summer months. I beg of you to take into consideration something that was started by the DWP many years ago, outreach to the faith communities, outreach to to the members of shuls, synagogues, churches across this city. I think together we can make this a better program. But we need to work together on this. I trust our GM David Wiggs to think critically, carefully about what programs are funded, what programs are not funded on a very regular basis. I know he thinks about these on a more than monthly basis. I urge you to have faith in the work that they do, the work that they started many years ago, and what they continue to do today, again, in our churches, in our synagogues, with Angelinos. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please. Mr. Carmichael.
Good morning, members of the council. My name is Tim Carmichael. I'm the executive director of the Coalition for Clean Air. Our organization joined with the Lee Andrews Group and about half a dozen other organizations almost a year ago in submitting the proposal that was approved by the commission just a week or two ago. Other groups included Brainchild Creative, Estela Lopez Consulting, Voice Inc., Lang Pan Chan Public Relations, Palisades Media Group, the Phelps Group, and Mindy Bergen Communications, and Mamaye. So it's a multi-group team that is part of this contract, which, to be specific, is $2.4 million. $2.4 million contract out of a multi-billion-dollar agency. We joined as part of this group because we believe the programs are critical to reducing air pollution and protecting public health in California and Southern California, because we believe public education is critical to changing our community. We have seen the success of these programs over the last couple of years, not as part of the program, but as an observer, and participating in our own education program in the schools. We go in, and when 2/3 of a first grade class raises their hands and can tell us what a compact fluorescent bulb is, we know that somebody has been there and effectively communicated with these students and or their families. And that's the DWP outreach program that we're talking about, part of it. Finally, the reason we joined this group is because we believe the Coalition for Clean Air can add to the continued success of these education and outreach efforts. The specific question before you today is whether or not you should interfere or intervene in a DWP contracting process. I encourage you not to, for the following reasons. I attended the commission meeting. The DWP commission was very clear in their direction to General Manager Wiggs that if anything came out of this audit, they wanted to know about it right away, and they would take action promptly. Second thing is, this is a critical time of year, the summer, the heat. This is the most important time of the year for us to be conserving energy and installing energy-efficient appliances, etc. The more we can be out there communicating with people this summer, the better it is for this whole program, the better it is for our community. So, wrapping up, just the perspective again, this is a single $2.4 million contract out of a multi-billion-dollar agency. It baffles me why this has been singled out when it's such important work, and no evidence has come forward suggesting that any of our team members have done anything, questionable in the past. So why single this contract out? I encourage you not to override the commission's ruling. They're watching the store closely.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Ma'am?
Yes, good morning. My name is Kaleo Ashley Simpkins. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to you.
I am here representing not only myself, but First AME Church, which, of course, as you know, has more than 22,000 members, but also speaking as an artist. Now, we had the opportunity to work with the Lee Andrews Group in conjunction with our partnership with DWP, which has been long-standing in their Voices for Green LA project. As we know, music has the power to communicate when nothing else will communicate with you. Not only were we able to educate more people in relationship to the environmental problems, but also how we can solve those problems. First AME has, through its many programs, not only for every program from their adoptions and foster care programs to the 22 components components of the youth program been able to plug in some aspect of the DWP educational program on environment, on energy consumption and uses. Many times the programs have been given, information on the programs have been given in the bills, but printed materials very often get thrown in the trash. Most people are just looking at how much time it is between now and the time the services are going to be cut off. And I'm talking about people in the lower socioeconomic group. So by using the artists to help disseminate information, I think was a stroke of genius. Our relationship with the DWP is long-standing. Our relationship with the Lee Andrews Group is just beginning, and our partnership has been entirely positive. We would like to say, as artists, as the choir of First AME Church, that we would like to see this partnership continued. We think that to do it from month to month would be like putting a quarter of a tank of gas trying to get all the way to the East Coast. We need to have a full tank of gas. We need to have everybody in conjunction with this working together. So we're asking, as artists who speak not only for this generation, but for those yet unborn, we hear a lot about how much things cost, but how much is this program worth? $2.25 million is nothing compared to how many children could be harmed by the garbage in the air in 10 years. How much will that cost us in medical bills? We're asking you to get behind this program, to lead the partnership, the brilliant partnership of the Lee Andrews Group and the DWP in place so that we can continue with the work that has been begun. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right. Mr. Rosenstein, Mr. Cohen, followed by Brian DRC, Joel Davidson, Patricia Maloney. In that order, please.
Mr. President, members of the Council, my name is Albert Cohen. I'm Executive Director of the Southern California Ecumenical Council. We represent churches, 18 denominations, 1,300 congregations, and 500,000 persons. We have congregations stretching from the San Fernando Valley to San Pedro. There's a range of opinion, of course, on the part of the faithful, but this is a lively network, actively engaged to promote health, welfare, safe and beautiful, financially viable city. As a matter of fact, my Honda EV Plus electric car is parked in the basement of City Hall right now. I'm involved with faith groups which advocate for stewardship of God's creation. We are engaged in reaching out to support a mutually beneficial projects like the LA DWP Green LA program.
Pardon me for a moment, sir. Sergeants, once again, it's very difficult to hear the speakers. They are to be afforded at least the ability to speak without as much volume. May I say to the speakers that it is often the case that the volume gets to be a little bit higher in proportion to the length of the presentations. We have approximately 2.5 minutes remaining on the allotted time. We still have roughly 15 plus persons wishing to be heard. If you would be mindful of that in your presentations, it would be very helpful. Otherwise, a member of the council will need to be prepared to extend the time of the public hearing. Sir, please proceed.
Yes, sir, I'd be glad to cooperate with that. Let me finish by describing my experience with the concert at Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. My wife and I were there. It was wonderful to have the famed men's chorus, Yolanda Adams, and others on stage in behalf of responsible stewardship of the earth. Lots of people who will not sign up for a workshop, who would never go to a seminar, will buy tickets for a concert. It was a brilliant way to gather a good-sized, diverse audience to listen to the Green LA message. I think it was the appropriate thing to do. I hope the LADWP will do it again, and I want LA to continue to lead the way to a sustainable future for our children and our grandchildren. Thank you very much.
We thank you for your testimony. Sir.
Good morning, and thank you for your time. My name is David Rosenstein. I'm the director of the Coalition on the Environment and Jewish Life of Southern California. We are the environmental voice of the organized Jewish community, which includes organizations as B'nai B'rith, Hadassah, Board of Rabbis, University of Judaism. We feel very strongly about the Green LA programs and the Lee Andrews support of them. We've been actively involved with them on many, many projects, including the Valley Jewish Festival, at which outreach to 40,000 members of the Jewish community took place. Many people wonder why the faith organizations such as ours are involved in environmental work, and it's because it is a moral mandate to care for creation. Every environmental issue has an impact on the poorest and neediest disproportionate to the rest of us. I have with me today letters of support from the Lung Association, March of Dimes, Senator Sheila Kuehl, a variety of other people, Assembly Member Roderick Wright, supporting the programs. We know what the right message is. The right message is sustainability, green power, and the Green LA programs. Without organizations like the Lee Andrew Group, who has been instrumental in us getting out our message, we are a voice in the wilderness. I strongly urge you to continue supporting these programs and to not interfere in the contract which allows us to do our work. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you for your testimony, sir. Please.
My name's Joel Davidson. I'm the president and the CEO of a new solar company that's going to open in Los Angeles this year and hire people in either city. I've already submitted a statement for the record. I just want to go on record for saying that I'm glad that the council member supports green power, but running a program month to month when funding is available through 2012 actually wastes money because it does not allow for good planning. The LADWP Green Power Program is a great program. I strongly support the $6 a watt rebate, and I hope the City Council will support multi-year planning. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Maloney?
Hello, I'm Patty Maloney from the Environmental Media Association. Thank you for the privilege of allowing me to speak today. I can't speak about the numbers of emissions or all of the technical scientific terms that are going on with green energy. I can only speak about my personal experience with the programs. I've been affiliated with LADWP for the last 3 years, specifically with the Cool Schools program, and I have seen the effect in the classroom and on the faces of the children, which are the faces of our future. Not only do they learn, but they get to experience on a first-hand level how to conserve and how to use green energy. One situation in particular, DWP has been very meticulous in their spending when we have been involved in their projects, and I had begged for T-shirts for one particular school. Every single student received a T-shirt, 1,200 T-shirts that were created east of Los Angeles by an at-risk youth group, and they were made of 100% recycled cotton. When we were passing out the T-shirts, one child looked up at me and asked if she could keep her T-shirt. And I said, certainly, everyone gets to keep their T-shirts today. She said, good. The only shirt I own is the one I have on. Also, one of the lower economic schools couldn't afford to support an art program for the children to participate in the Cool Schools planting of the trees. So DWP gave me permission to give a $300 check to that school so that they could go out and buy paint, crayons, and pencils. This program needs to be continued, and I ask you to allow it to go on. It affects our future. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony. Next speaker, please.
Brian Darcy, I'm the business manager of IBEW Local 18. My members we're the largest labor organization at LADWP. We keep the water flowing and the lights on. In addition to that, we also install the electric vehicle chargers. We've installed all of the solar panels on all the public buildings where there is solar in this city. And we continue to work inside the department in support of these programs. They are not just green power programs, they are job creators. I am somewhat astonished that we've selected, or you've selected, this as the way to discuss policy in Los Angeles. We have bigger and more larger consequences facing us in November than dealing with policy matters around a Prop 5 issue. I had the, I want to say pleasure, but it wasn't the pleasure of doing the first Prop 5 in Los Angeles in '91. This is not the forum to have policy discussions. It is not the forum to threaten programs. It is not the forum to create policy standards to make these programs better. And frankly, I think that you are throwing the baby out with the bathwater. If there are fundamental problems inside the green program, then they need to be addressed. If there are auditing issues, there is not any time in DWP's history where there wasn't an audit going on of some consequence, to stop doing business, to stop dealing with your resource plan, which is dependent upon demand-side management, which is conservation, and to stop that community outreach during the summer months is simply foolish. To deal with that, you need to put this aside and have a real discussion about policy. Not about an audit, not about selective prosecution of one contractor over another, but a policy discussion that includes all the elected officials, the controller, the city attorney, and the council. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Thank you, Mr. Darcy. The council members of the public, once again, the time allotted for public comment has expired, and we have no less than about 25 speaker cards remaining to go. Is there a motion from the floor to extend once again the public comment period? Seeing none, we will add the balance of the cards to the file. If you submitted a card to address the council and has not been called, please know that you will be part of the record, and I believe we have heard from a good number of the folks with different opinions and points to make.
I think that a number of us, I know myself personally, I changed my entire schedule to speak on this issue. The citizens of this city deserve the right to speak on the issue. Your agenda is not that important that you cannot hear from the citizens who elected you to do your job. I would ask that you extend the time and allow us to speak.
Thank you very much. Gracias, down. Mr. Holden?
And I move 5 more minutes.
Is there a second? There's a second. Madam Clerk, please open the roll on extending the time. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay, so we're extending this for 5 more minutes. If I can ask the following, the people who submitted speaker cards, Mr. Rudy Thomas has been doing several names. I'm asked to please line up behind the podium and recognize them. There's so many cards and so little time. I ask you to keep your comments as brief as possible, preferably to state your name, organization, if any, and your position on the issue. Again, previous speakers have been articulated the points from a variety of perspectives. The following speakers are Stephen Koff, followed by Michael Kahn, Debbie Levin, Raju Ginimandra, Reverend Paul Lance, Venislava Christov, Luke Perito. You can come forward, please.
Mr. President, members of the council, I'm Stephen Kopp, director of B'nai B'rith, the oldest Jewish community service organization in Los Angeles, started here in 1899. We represent over 5,000 people throughout the Los Angeles area, most of whom are in the San Fernando Valley. I have been director of this program for 5 years now, and never in that time have I seen a more positive response to a community service as we have with the Green Power program, tree planting efforts, and other efforts introduced by the Department of Water and Power and the Lee Andrews Group. In a time when the community must become involved, we are extremely pleased that we have the support of these programs to push before our members and get them involved. We understand the need for fiscal responsibility, but we understand the need more to have programs like this continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, the members of the public behind you would appreciate some brevity here.
As you make your points there, use the 24-second clock like they're going to use tonight in New Jersey. Thank you.
I'm Debbie Levin. I'm the Executive Director of the Environmental Media Association, and I also, through the encouragement of the DWP, I drive an electric car. We've been enthusiastic supporters of the essential green programs that the LADWP has provided since their inception. LADWP's vision for cleaner and greener Los Angeles has created some of the most successful initiatives in the world. We urge your continued support of all the Green LA programs. Try to make this really brief. What they're doing with their specific programs in terms of reducing air pollution, global warming impacts is unparalleled. As the media arm for the environmental community, Emma has been outspoken regarding the programs that the LADWP has created. Getting the message to the public is a vital part of the LADWP's work. You can't work month to month. You can't stop your work as a business. I urge you not to disturb what the DWP is doing. Thank you.
Good morning. Michael Kahn, I'm the owner of Kahn Air and Solar. We're a family-owned air conditioning and solar business in Los Angeles since 1961. We're in support of the Green LA program. The Green LA program and solar power means jobs in the city of Los Angeles. Without the rebates, there would be no solar power business. I urge you to support the solar rebate program and the Green LA program. Thank you.
I'm Raju Yanamandra, Director of Sales at Shell Solar, formerly Siemens Solar. I just want to say that we, based on the Green Power program by LADWP, we opened a manufacturing facility in the Los Angeles area, and we strongly support the program. What's very important, the one single point I could make is it took a lot of effort and money for our company to train 200 contractors and to invest the money with equipment and manpower there. And this is the time to really enhance the public awareness and communications program, not slow things down, because we are just setting up infrastructure for a sustainable development with clean energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me hold the time and call the next series of names. Reverend Paul Lance, Venislava Christoph, Luke Perito, Dr. Frederick O'Merk, Jim Stewart, and Dayami Lopez. Go ahead.
Paul Lance, the chair of the Church and Society for Central Association, United Church of Christ here in Southern California. We represent about 40 churches in the urban area, and we hosted a regional gathering in which the Department of Water and Power, through the efforts of Lee Andrews Group, was held up as a model for all of our various Edison and other municipalities to follow. And I encourage you to continue that relationship. It's been very profitable for all of our churches as they now change their patterns of behavior. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Venislava Christova, and I have been a student volunteer in Los Angeles Department of Water and Power for 2 years now. I support Green LA wholeheartedly. I think that my life and the life of a lot of young people depends on this program, and I hope you will continue this program. Thank you.
Good
Council, good morning. Green Power Girl here to tell you about a program that I have developed and implemented under the Lee Andrews Group that has outreached a Energy and Conservation Assembly to 60 schools in every single one of your districts. And in fact, you also supported the Earth Day Clean Energy Fair that we brought 1,000 Green Power heroes to. And so thank you for providing the buses to that. And I'm just urging you to, without delay, support this contract support programs like mine that really outreach to the community, teaching them that they can all be heroes. You don't have to wear a big cape to be a hero if you conserve energy and think about renewable energy in our city. So thank you.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, I would ask that you would allow me, I'll try to be very brief. This morning, I changed my schedule to come down here because of my concern over this particular issue. I'm encouraging you to support the contract to Lee Andrews Group because it is a 100% minority contract. It represents women, small businesses, including over 200 nonprofits. And it represents the citizens of the city from the Valley to San Pedro, East Los Angeles to West Los Angeles, Hollywood to South Central. And it truly represents minority participation in the process in this city. Ms. Chick indicates that she is all for minority participation. And so I think it's a good idea to approve this contract. I just want to raise a few questions that possibly might get you to thinking about this particular issue. Number one, why is it that Laura Chick's review of a $4 billion agency only looks at programs that are funded at a level of $60 million, which is less than 1/10 of 1% of the total budget. If this city is going to award contracts, it ought to use the same standards for every contractor. If you're going to audit one, audit all the contracts. I am concerned because I see a pattern taking place in this city. As you all know, I was a great supporter of Bernard Park. I was not happy with some of the issues that came along with that, but that's past. This is another issue. I'm wondering why this contract has been singled out and why it is that so much attention is being placed by Mrs. Chick on this contract. Why isn't the convention center contract being audited? Why is it necessary to stop the work that this group is doing before an audit is completed? When you're not doing that with the rest of the contracts that you have in the city. I need to make it very clear to this city council, to everyone that's here, there are a large number of individuals in this city that are watching the way our political officials do business. As you are aware, in November, there's an issue that will come to the ballot about this business of succession. Now, the African American community has not decided which way it will go, but all of the pollsters and all the consultants recognize that the African American community will have the deciding vote as to which way the succession issue goes. This is not a threat, this is just information. We are currently having town hall meetings on the issue of succession to get information from the academicians and research and collect data. This is more data we're going to collect based on what this decision will be.
If I may ask you to conclude.
Yes, I will conclude. But you need to be very clear. You have to give African Americans and as a community a reason to support keeping the city together. If you're going to award contracts to all the fat cats, If you're going to give all the money to a small group of old boys that have been getting the money all along, then I can see we're going to have a little problem. But I think it's time that we open up the process and begin to award contracts to people that are doing the job, people that have an interest in this city, and people that represent all the citizens of Los Angeles. I encourage you to send a message to Ms. Cheek today and let her know that you will not support her position, that you will not support Mr. Weiss and Mr. Zine, who has a different opinion about things, but that you will do the right thing. Thank you so much.
I'm Jim Stewart. Let me notify Mr. Stewart before we begin that time once again has expired. There are 2 members of the public at the podium. I will allow you to speak. These will be our final 2 speakers.
So I'm Jim Stewart, representing the Southern California Council on Environmental Development and Earth Day Los Angeles. On behalf of dozens of environmental organizations across the city, we call upon you to vote a resounding no on item 44. Thank you.
Thank you for the brevity.
Good morning, Council. My name is Diami Lopez, and I am with All People's Christian Center. I'm here this morning to support DWP and the Lee Andrews Group. Working with the Lee Andrews Group has definitely benefited the 9th District. They have assisted us in reaching a population that does not use a general form of media to receive information. Due to the language barriers that many of our residents face, they don't always understand billboards or even commercials. Having CBOs like ourselves reach this population to inform them of DWP's Green Power Program is the only way to go. With summer approaching, there is a greater need to promote and educate the public about conservation programs. In conclusion, I believe that cutting or interrupting the funds for this program is truly a disservice to the residents of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And once again, this concludes public comment on this item. The balance of the cards will be added to the record. We now proceed to council discussion and debate, beginning with Mr. Reyes.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to ask the Director of the Department of Fire, Mr. Riggs, if you would come to the table, please. Hold my time. And if there's any personnel that's involved with the program, I might help us answer some questions. So I want to understand what are the consequences, what are the ramifications of our actions here. It's very clear there's a decision to be made to assert jurisdiction or not. But it's just become very apparent that there are some very good programs that will be affected, impacted. I want to know what are the impacts of the programs. Should we assert jurisdiction? What happens to these programs? Hold my time, please.
Okay, Mr. President, David Wiggs, General Manager, Department of Water and Power. With me is Angelina Galitova, who is in charge of our Green LA program. First, if you don't mind, let me say we do appreciate a lot all the support we do have on these programs and the comments today. We also, though, appreciate the efforts being made by the controller and the audit that is going forward. We are cooperating completely. We had started our own audit. So that we have all, I think maybe this is more, and I hope and believe this isn't an attack by her or anybody else about the programs themselves, but maybe more about timing and how we can deal with this particular contract. Our board's concern is that we had run out of money on the original contract that we had, and it was funding these particular programs. We were able to obtain an extension on the corporate side of the contract to take us through September, and now we have put out an RFP for a new contract beginning on the corporate side, which deals with water issues, conservation, things like that. And this particular contract that's before you is a contract that we were using to keep in place and continue the efforts on our Green Power program through the summer, and very mindful of the audit that is being conducted. In fact, when the board passed this resolution, this contract, they specifically gave me instructions as general manager to be certain we exactly watch the dollars that are spent over the next 2 months. It is a 30-day cancellation provision in the contract. We're certainly not going to rush out and spend all the money in the first month, but I've directed Angelina and her group that they will spend only what's necessary to keep the programs going, and Angelina can give you specifics about what programs until we get the results of the audit, at which time we are fully aware that we may want to change some direction, we may want to refocus our attention on different items, and we'll certainly take a look at this contract as it fits into the overall picture. So I know it's not perfect exactly what she would like, but I do think we are very mindful of what's going on, and we don't want to lose the momentum on these programs going into the summer months particularly.
So what's the difference between what you just said versus what's being proposed by the council?
What the commission passed, and what I am here to support, the Board of Commissioners passed, was the one-year contract that is subject to a 30-day cancellation provision on our part. What was being discussed, I believe, by Mr. Weiss and Ms. Chick was a month-to-month contract where you would have, I'm certain, a dollar limit on each month. So you would have, say it's a month-to-month contract at $200,000 a month, it would automatically roll on unless we ended it. So there is some distinction. I guess the best I can do is tell you that at least the way we're going to administer it, there will be no distinction, because we are not going to rush out and spend all the funds in the first month or two.
So we were to shift gears and go to month-to-month, we have to go through a bureaucratic process of reestablishing the program stop,
We would have to go back and start over with the commission and put it on the agenda again and adopt it, and we would therefore not know if we had any money to pay in June, and I would have to advise Angelina not to spend money she doesn't have. So until I get an approval, I don't want to spend money.
So then we spend money administratively with administrators, legal, looking at contracts, setting up appointments, going through the descriptions of programs, and letting everybody up all over again. Should we stop?
You'd have to start over.
So we would probably lose maybe a month.
It would take us a month.
Okay, so that would be
At least, probably that.
So between June and July, we would have a breakdown of the hottest time of the year.
We would not be able to spend money in June, maybe by July.
Can you hold my time? Can I ask the controller to come to the desk, please? I'm really focused on what's best for the city and what's best for the programs. And as controller, I wanted to get your input as to, does it behoove us to stop the programs, knowing that the director has the ability to basically achieve the same thing you're striving for while the audits are being completed?
I'm not sure that that's accurate, that we have the same ability if the contract goes forward as is, to go backwards as you do if you go month to month, and then after analyzing the audit, decide whether in fact, looking at past performance as well as present, do you want these dollars committed this way? I would also like to, Councilman, just make one other point. I've been told by top management of the department that in fact we haven't been doing such a good job of spending all this money the last 4 years, and there's quite an accumulation of public benefit funds. If I'm incorrect, I should be corrected, but I think there's plenty of dollars there, and they're not running out.
With all due respect, Controller, right now the focus is how do we make sure these services stay in the community?
Right, I'm just addressing what Mr. Wicks said about worrying about if there would be enough money there, and I've been told that there's lots of money there.
When you started speaking, you said, we're not sure if it goes backwards. What do you mean by that? When you started speaking, you said,
I was addressing the comment that Mr. Weeks mentioned something about not being sure if he would have enough money. And I thought that there was an accumulation of money in the public benefit program from past years, so there would be no risk of running out of money.
But there's not a risk of running out of money. Certainly we have money in the program, but I don't have any authority to spend that money on this contract without a contract. So I don't have
After
any.
June 30th.
Yeah, I don't know. In fact, we are out of money on that contract already. So that what I'm saying is if we don't have a contract in place now to go forward with our community outreach benefits, not that we don't have the money, but I have no legal authority to use that money.
Except if it's month to month or, right.
For me, bottom line
Para mí
is,
la línea es que
I just want to let our
tenemos
colleagues
que dejar a
understand
mis
is that
colegas entender que
my objective is to
mi
keep
objetivo
the
es
contracts,
mantener los
should I say, the
contratos,
programs in
los
place,
programas en
so
lugar.
that way we don't lose that.
Para que
So
no
my
perdamos
understanding, we
eso, mi
assume
entendimiento es que
jurisdiction, we're
hacemos
going to
jurisdicción,
have to
entonces vamos
stop
a tenemos que
and
parar
reboot everything in
y
order for us to get off the ground.
recargar
You're
todo
saying
para
no and
poder
they're saying
seguir. Él
yes.
dice
No,
esto y
if
que
we
no, y
take
dice que sí,
jurisdiction,
tomamos jurisdicción.
and I would really prefer the CLA or the city attorney to explain this rather than me. This is an explanation of the charter. But you take jurisdiction and you send the item back to the commission, and you can send it back with the comment that it would be wiser to go month to month for the next couple of months. And then it's up to the commission to decide whether to do that.
Yes, under the Charter Section 245, if the council does assert jurisdiction by 10 votes, they have the option to either vote on something, vote to veto the matter or not veto the matter today, or they can send it to committee or hold it on the desk. They have 21 days to act. So it is the council's decision. And if the council doesn't act within 21 days, then the previous action, which was the board's action, would stand.
So the option, another option we have then is send it back to the commission, not assert jurisdiction, and make sure the program stay in place. I'm hearing this correctly. Is that correct, City Attorney?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Could you explain about what happens when the council vetoes?
When the council vetoes the item, it then goes back to the commission, and the commission then has the option to act on it again or act on something different, and then that would then be another item that's subject to jurisdiction under 244.
So we assert jurisdiction. Basically assert jurisdiction, we send it back with a clear direction that we don't want the programs to be penalized, and that we give the director the authority to continue funding these programs.
Point of order, Mr. City. Isn't the action clearly, if we assert jurisdiction, we either can allow it to stay or we veto it? We can't alter it. We can ask them to do different things, but always we would have to veto the contract.
That's right. That's your action.
See, and that's my concern, that we veto the contract, then we have to go back and reestablish the programs, go through the whole process of reestablishing contracts to make sure that the services stay in place. Can someone clarify that for us?
Mr. Wiggs?
Señor Wicks.
Mr. Wiggs?
I think if there's any confusion, it is simply on timing. We certainly understand that the board, or the council vetoes it and gives us some thought of what they want. I would go back to the board, I'd have to put it on the agenda again, we'd notice it, we'd ask them to amend the contract, and then as soon as we get it done and amended, we'd put it back on the agenda, and then it would be up to them as to what they vote for or not. So the time between now and then could be up to 30 days to do this, and amend the contract, and get it back on the agenda and get it voted on. That's the time frame that we're talking about. Could it be done differently?
Again, getting back to my first point, do we lose services in our community?
Services, we lose the ability to advertise, promote, educate these services during the time when I don't have any money to pay for it. Whether or not that will end services.
Mr. President, we had the president of the Water Power Commission here. Mr. Ken Lombard, I don't want to ask him to join us at the Senate table.
No, right now, I just want a clear answer. Right now, I'm not getting a clear answer.
We will lose some programs if we can't do anything over the next 2 to 3 weeks. There will be some loss of momentum and programs. I advise and advise by. Yes, you want to tell them which one?
Let me finish, eh?
Angelina Gillespie, Director of Strategic Planning, specifically the programs that will be affected are the outreach to energy efficiency. This year, contrary to last year, we're rolling out initiatives for residential customers. There are rebates available to those customers. We need to let the customers know and get the word out that those are rebates available for super efficient appliances. We need to have our CBOs canvassing the areas that will benefit from having access to information about those rebates. And specifically, the Valley will be affected. They use a lot more electricity than the city in general. We want to make sure that people do get the word and that they do know that they have access to rebates and programs that are being launched and rolled out in the summer months. This is our most critical period. We do want to keep the momentum going.
Okay. I just want to say that, and I just want to share with the body is that my ultimate goal is not to install, not to disturb what we're doing in our communities. Technically, we have a time issue here. This is a difference of what that means. And I will need some assurance before this dialogue is ended that we do not disturb our services. And that really is the bottom line. I don't want to think politics, but environment.
We can ask, we have order in chambers, please. The public has been afforded an opportunity to speak. Mr. Brinson.
Yes, members of the council. First of all, I understand and I applaud the controller's efforts to try to see that things are fiscally run properly. However, and I was prepared when I walked in here to perhaps support taking jurisdiction and until such time as the audit was finished. But a real question has arisen in my mind as a result of what I heard today, and that is the possibility of some of these vital services being interrupted. Now, I think the two of you need to listen to me because, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be here long enough to vote. I've got to leave in 5 minutes to go to MTA, but I will tell you this. If it comes down to any interruption of these services, then I cannot support taking jurisdiction because I think these services are vital. Now, if there's a way to do this on a month-to-month basis without interrupting these services, that's fine. Then I can go along with that. And I don't particularly find anything wrong with this contract. I think there's a lot of other areas where DWP can make some real changes. One of the things I've never understood is why we sponsor the Dodger baseball project of the Dodgers games. Not that I don't enjoy the games. Why are we asking the ratepayers of Los Angeles to act as a sponsorship for baseball programs, for example? You know, that's just one example. There's a lot of other areas. This area here, dealing with the green power program that we have, with the education and so forth, I don't want to see this interrupted, Laura. And as much as I'd love to support this, if it's going to cause an interruption, even for a month or so, I don't think that should happen. Now, I need you to tell me, that there's not going to be an interruption. If there's not going to be an interruption of any kind on this, then I can go along. But if there is going to be an interruption, then I can't. So you tell me right now, yes or no. I don't want a lot of double talk. Yes or no, will there be any interruption? Yes or no?
Mr. Brinson, I am advised by the people that run the programs, if we stop now and don't have our community outreach programs, there will be some interruption in programs. I can't sit here today and tell you exactly which one or for how long, but there will be some interruption.
How are you operating now? Are you operating now under a contract or a month-to-month contract?
No, the contract expired and I stopped work on it at the end of May.
Why couldn't you have continued it on a month-to-month until you had a new contract in place?
Well, that is one way it could have been done. The commission decided that the way they wanted to do it was to approve a contract, have a 30-day cancellation provision so that we could continue with the program, respond to and look at the results of the audit, adjust that if we need to.
Well, as usual, when you ask questions of departments, you don't get yes or no answers, and I consider this to be not getting a yes or no answer. You're probably going to lose my vote, both of you, either way, because I have to leave in about 2 minutes. But I will tell you this, I hope these programs are not interrupted, whatever this council does. And I'm not trying to take away from Ms. Chick. I think she's doing a terrific job of looking into how our city governments effectively spend our dollars and spend the ratepayers and taxpayer dollars. And I urge you to continue. I don't know if this is the spot if it's going to interrupt something like that. I don't think there's enough votes to do anything one way or the other today, because it takes, excuse me one second, I have to leave in a minute, okay? don't think there's enough votes to do anything one way or another today. But I think if the department were able to come up with some answers that assured everybody that there was not going to be any discontinuance even for a short time, I think we'd be able to make a clear-cut decision. I think you're probably going to have to carry this over anyway, Mr. President, because you're not going to not be able to get 10 votes for anything.
Thank you, Mr. Burton. Before calling on the next speaker, I want to recognize Mr. Labange for an introduction.
Please, everybody turn around and welcome the great seniors from the city of Ventura. They've come down to visit Los Angeles today, and they're enjoying their stay in the city hall. Welcome from Ventura. Give special regards to all our friends in the city of Ventura, 60 miles north of this city hall.
Welcome. Our next speaker is Ms. Gruhl.
Can I yield my time go after Councilmember Weiss? Is he right after me? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
Mr. Weiss.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Ms. Gruhl. Folks, if Mr. Miller could join us at the table. Mr. Wiggs.
Yes.
You directed that the work be stopped at the end of May, independently, and in fact, prior to this council, prior to this motion occurring. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so to the extent that there is something halted on the ground, it's the result of that action and not as a result of anything the council has done, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, it's also correct that if the multi-year contract, or the contract that's been approved by the DWP goes into effect, there would be no, services would be provided along the lines that we've heard this morning. Is that correct?
You're talking about the contract today?
Yes, if the contract were in effect, service would be provided. That's correct.
Yes.
If a month-to-month version of that contract, which does not take substantial revisions, if you're altering the term of the contract, maybe something about the manner, the structure in which the payments are funneled out. That's not nuclear science. If that occurred, there would be no disruption in service. You could provide these services on a month-to-month basis, correct?
That is correct.
And so the only reason that there would be any disruption in services would stem initially from the May 31st decision by the DWP to stop, correct? It's a question, things stopped as a result of that, correct?
We were out of money, so I wasn't going to let anybody go forward and spend money. We couldn't, not money in the program, money in the contract.
And so the only question is, when does the green flag go up? When do the cars get the green flag? Is that net the only question here?
That is correct.
Okay. And so there's nothing that I know of that would stop the DWP from, we can take whatever action we do today, we can continue to we can send it to committee. There's nothing that I know of that would prevent the DWP board from going back into session, altering the term in that contract, doing it as a month-to-month contract, teeing it up, putting that green flag out there, and then the services would be provided. Is that correct?
Well, they believe they have done that, and that's what they did.
No. Legally, they haven't done that. Legally, they approved a multi-year contract or a year-long contract with a right to renew. They didn't approve a month-to-month. If they approved a month-to-month right now, the services could go out to the community, correct?
Once that is approved, if they chose to do that, then we would continue the program. What we're doing right now is we're kind of holding until we're certain either this contract's approved or some other contract. And they approved this contract, so I can tell you this, we go forward, we can start immediately.
Well, I think we can all assume here that we know, we have Mr. Lombard here, we know he supports this program, we know, we've heard that it's a good program. There is no dispute in this room that if it had to, the DWP would approve this on a month-to-month to get these programs out in the community. That can't be in dispute, correct?
Just the timing. I would think they would
So
approve.
if the DWP were to act and get the ink on that document done, get that month-to-month contract done, we could get these programs out in the community. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Reyes, he wants to ask a question. Yes, I certainly would like.
Mr. Weiss.
Can we Do you have the authority to transfer money from one account to this account, to have a 60-day continuance of services while we do what we have to do with the audit?
Well, Laura keeps asking me this, and maybe I'm not understanding. We have money in the public benefits. I don't know how I pay or obligate services under a contract. I don't have a contract. It's empty. It's spent. If someone can tell me how I can put money into a contract and continue to spend it, then we can do that. But I didn't have any ability, and I didn't want to spend more in the contract. So I'm caught right now. The board was caught. We've run out of money in one contract. We amended and extended on the corporate side so we could put a new RFP out on a new contract, and then we moved forward with a new contract, this one, for public benefits. If this contract's not approved and we go back, in the meantime, I don't have any legal basis, any contractual basis to pay on. I don't have a contract to pay. It doesn't matter to have the money. I don't know where I get it. I can't pay it. Now, if council, board, somebody tells me that we have the money available and authorizes the money, then obviously I've got it to spend.
Mr. Reyes, I'm sorry, you had an opportunity to speak. You're on the queue again. Mr. Weiss's time has expired. I now recognize Ms. Gould.
I have a quick question, Mr. Wiggs, because we all are, I think the general sense you get from my colleagues is that we do not want to have any disruption of service and make sure during these periods of time. On the other hand, want to look at, because we want to take us away from the actual contract of who the recipients are, who the actual individuals, the overseeing contract. It's really about ensuring, and this is a question for Laura Chick, which is what's also the normal procedure when audits are in process for contracts? Is there generally, do we ask departments to hold off in long-term contracts when they're in the middle of an audit with someone who is, I guess, obviously being audited during that period of time? And so I guess it's just questions, and I'm not sure we still understand, Councilmember Reyes, as well, if there is a way to still have these contracts be paid and there be no disruption of services, and we're all struggling with that.
I don't know if in the 11 months that I have been city controller, this type of situation has come up before, but I will very much state publicly that any time, to me, that's just a principle of good government and good auditing and accountability, that if there's a way to avoid committing significant new dollars on contracts inside a program that is being audited with a very tight timeline on the audit, that it always is a better way to go. When you're asking the question, how are we doing and have these dollars been well spent and have the contract been monitored, but again, this was asked of the DWP Commission by me over a month ago to not go forward in this way. It would have been extremely easy to have handled it that way then. And one other point, this contract, albeit it's inside a bigger contract with Fleischman-Hillard over the last 4 years, but this contract does not expire until June 30th. And it could be extended, and dollars, and it's somewhat amusing to me that DWP is having trouble thinking about how to fund. They've got 52 different, slush funds and trust accounts, and there's lots of money in the public benefit dollars that could be moved over into an extended contract for a couple of months. So it didn't even have to be a new contract.
That's going to be my question, Mr. Wiggs, is that the contract that you said terminated on May 31st.
No, it ran out of money.
It ran out of money.
It actually expires June 30th.
Okay.
The Fleischman contract does.
Could you, in fact, when does the commission meet next?
Commission meets next this coming Tuesday.
This coming Tuesday. So if, in fact, the commission wanted to, they could identify, the department could identify funds within the remainder of the department, wherever that may be, and transfer it to this particular contract and extend then that contract past June 30th. Because the reason the problem we have is you didn't have the money.
I mean, I'm trying not to confuse you anymore. commission did in fact extend that contract through the end of September for $800,000. But we did not include in that extension money for the public benefits part of our programs, because those programs were going to go forward in a new separate contract with Lee Andrews and not through the Fleischman contract. So they have extended that to allow us to continue on our corporate plans, our corporate mainly water issue through September, and to get paid everybody up to date through May. That contract was extended. Now, could it be further amended and further extended to include money for public benefits? It could, and that is another way of doing this.
And my question is, what's the difference between the current contract that doesn't have any money, that you did not extend, and the new contract that you're proposing with the Lee Andrews Group? What's the difference between the two? What change would if in fact, we inserted jurisdiction and said to the Commission, we would like you to do X?
One of the reasons that I chose to separate the contracts was exactly what I discussed before, because by having them together in two different departments spending, we did not have, in my view, the controls we needed over the contracts. So you had departments spending essentially some of the same money. So that's why we ran out sooner than we should have. So I said, I don't do that going forward. Let's get two contracts. Let's be clear on what we have for public benefits. That contract will go forward with the successful bidder, which was Lee Andrews Group, and then we'll go forward with a new corporate contract that we put on the street with an RFP, and that will go forward separately. So I can control the dollar spent a little better and I don't run into trouble. That's the difference. We could have done it through the same and then use Lee Andrews as a subcontractor under Fleischman, but I prefer to separate them so I can keep them track of them and monitor them a lot closer.
So the difference between the current contract that you have with Fleischman Hillard and Lee Andrews is currently a subcontractor to Fleischman Hillard through June 30th. The new contract is solely with Lee Andrews
for the public benefit programs for the Green Power Program.
So that's the contractual part of it. What about the service delivery part of it? What's the difference between the two contracts other than, as you described, the control mechanism?
Well, her company will deliver services to the Green Power programs based on a task force assignments. They give assignments and then she delivers her services under this new contract. Fleischman Hillard contract goes forward and the assignments come from corporate area and the water area and economic development area. So they work under and for really a different group. A lot of the services are technically the same. They promote activities for us and educate, but for different departments. I think what, again, and maybe it comes down to just maybe a little question of some trust here. As general manager of the department, I am saying to you, and the board passed a resolution that approved a contract and told me I was to monitor that contract and not spend it all the first month. We want to be very mindful of the audit that Ms. Chick is performing. I am saying to you, I am going to do that. That is part of running the business. I will do that. And when the audit comes out, we will adjust and look at those programs going forward and may adjust the contract. We have a 30-day out. The only argument seems to be here is that, well, why can't you just make it month to month instead of 30 days? I think the Commission was trying to address the concerns by having a 30-day out, telling me to watch what's spent and do just what we have to keep the program going, and hopefully that would get us where we need to get to for this going forward. And that's really, I guess I am saying, Laura, we're doing what she's asking. It's just not in the contractual form that she's asked for. I am not going to overspend those dollars the next couple of months.
And then I'm sorry, one other question I want to ask of the CLA's office in a technical matter, because this is the first Prop 240, or whatever, 245, the Section 245 that we will have before since I've been here, which is, if in fact we do not assert jurisdiction today, and the contract goes forward, and the audit comes out from the controller, and there's some difference of opinion into how the department actually will respond to that audit. And that, may be good reason that there's difference. But if the council says we agree with Controller Chick versus the DWP, do we ever have an opportunity to bring this issue back to us and assert jurisdiction in the future? And it may be a city attorney question as well.
Not as the contract is currently structured. The only other opportunity you would have is if another action was brought before the board, that you could exercise your authority under Section 245.
Okay. So then my next question would be the controller chick. If you, when an audit is completed and you send it to the department and to the city council, to the commission, okay. So does that fit, Jerry, does that fit if the audit goes to the commission for their consideration? Is that an item in which then we can assert jurisdiction over? Again, if we had a difference of opinion as to how they move forward.
There is no way for this council to force the board to put anything on its agenda. So simply the fact that the audit is submitted to the board doesn't necessarily mean that the board schedules for action. And unless there is an action scheduled and done by the board, this council does not have the authority under 245 to assert jurisdiction.
That's a whole other, excuse me, one last one. That's a whole other issue relative to, if you could do audits all you want in the future, Controller Chick, and if a proprietary department didn't want to listen to you, again, this is just in general. I think we need to address that issue because that seems a little bit odd to me, that if you do an audit, they don't,
it's really at the root of why I'm here in terms of accountability issues and accountability to the elected.
Thank you very much. Pacheco.
Ms. Krill, that's why we have a mayor and a council. We can affect change in those departments for those channels. Jerry, I was really concerned with one of your answers because it's really not accurate. You cannot blame the contract when the charter says the council can't force any department that's governed by a commission to do something. That's just the charter. We cannot affirmatively make a commission do something. Under Section 245, we can legislatively veto something. Okay, but we can't affirmatively make them do something. That's not specific to this contract, has nothing to do with this contract. That's just the structure of government that we have. And I think it's misleading to the public and to anyone to try to put on this contract. The thing I find most offensive about this whole conversation is that when you have a contract that says within 30 days you can get out, it's the equivalent of a month to month. And for someone to try to say it's not, it's just ludicrous. Okay? It's the equivalent of a month to month. If the audit, the other thing is, as far as I remember, we're innocent until proven guilty in this country. Okay? If the audit finds something that needs to be improved upon, then we can either retool the contract with the acquisition of the contractee. If the contractee does not want to agree to our changes, we can terminate the contract with 30 days notice. So I don't know what we're talking about here. I'm not sure why people are getting all worked up about this. It may look good in the press to get all worked up about this, but when you look at the facts and you look at what's in front of us, a contract that you can get off in 30 days is the equivalent of a month to month. I mean, that's it. That's since I've been here, every year I've had an environmental fair in my district with the cooperation of the Department of Water and Power and the Green Power section, with the Sierra Club, the Heal the Bay. Different organizations have come out. As I stand here, I wear my solar power watch. Thank you very much. I am on the verge of getting my solar panels installed at my home so I can have my solar energy running my home units. Thank you very much, DWP. And so let me just tell you that I have another appointment, another engagement. So as I leave, rest assured that's the equivalent of voting no. So as I leave, just know that it's the equivalent of voting no on the certain jurisdiction. Mr. President, thank you. I just find that a sufficient case has not been made to get involved in this, considering all the facts that we've heard from the department and considering the great testimony that we've heard from the environmental community on the great work that they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pacheco. Colleagues, two quick announcements. As Mr. Pacheco leaves, that does bring us to 10 members and a mayor quorum. So let's be advised of that. Second, on the queue, we have Ms. Miskowski, Mr. Labange, Mr. Holden, Mr. Garcetti, Mr. Willie Thomas, and now Mr. Zine. And for a second time, Mr. Weiss, Ms. Rule. It is evident, as Mr. Brinson mentioned, in all likelihood, there is not a majority either way. Now, for action on this matter today, we were more than likely going to continue this matter tomorrow. Mr. Willie Thomas and Ms. Miskowski.
Just quickly, point of order, some of us do have excused absences at this point, and if in fact it has already been established in view of the fact that there's a mere quorum, that we can't act assertively one way or another, perhaps we should use our time more wisely and make the decision that we either continue or whatever needs to be the case. Because at this point, as I said, those of us who do have excused absences have the right to exercise them, and I don't think we should have a quorum broken. So I appeal to the chair to make a decision and council to make a motion.
Ms. Miskowski, point of order.
Well, no, I believe I'm the next speaker, and my speech is I move the previous question.
So the previous question has been moved. That does end discussion. Madam Clerk, we have a couple of votes. I believe the first is whether or not to assert jurisdiction.
Yes, Mr. President, and that is the first question on the previous question. The first vote is on the previous question.
Let's open the roll on the previous question. Let's close the roll on the previous question. Well, let's keep the roll open. People are still voting. Reopen the roll. Everybody have an opportunity to vote. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
4 ayes, 6 noes.
Okay, so that does not pass. That means discussion debate does continue. Members, it is my observation that there will not be sufficient votes either way on this matter. Is there any objection to continue this matter one day?
No. I'd like to ask the city attorney if she can address for everybody, Mr. President, the
city attorney on the timing.
Yes, your next legislative day is the last day to act on this matter, so you could continue it for one legislative day.
Parade's Friday.
If the council does not meet, then that would effectively, there would not be a legislative session, it would go over to Tuesday, which would be your next legislative day.
No. You better, Mr. President, let's continue with the debate.
Okay. So let me forewarn members of the council, members of the public, if it's a desired response to continue debate and we do lose a quorum, in effect, we're also continuing this matter to the next meeting, whether it is this Friday or whether it is this Tuesday. So in effect, we accomplish the same thing, and what we don't do is address the other matters called special on today's agenda. Our next speaker is Mr. Labange.
Yeah, if I could have everybody who was here at the center table again, please.
Take those items that need other votes today to have them go forward.
Those items will not be quick items.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, members of the council. I used to work in water and power, so I have a familiarity with water and power. I also have a familiarity with community, and believe me, there's a very constant community effort in this program that is, I think, a model for the rest of the city. I think if you don't do anything, and the contract doesn't get engaged now, there is a time gap. In summertime, it's very important to get to people. It's not just water and power and green power, it's water conservation. There's a whole element there. I greatly appreciate the city controller and her focus, not just on this department, but other departments. And I think the agreement that was passed, that's in here, the commission that speaks to this agreement may be canceled by the department without cause, on a 30-day calendar, written notice, or at any time by mutual party agreement. Members of council, I'm chairman of the audit Governance and Efficiency Committee. If I see this as a problem for what you bring to me, Laura, I'm going to bring a motion into council calling this all back in again, and I will do that. The point has been made very clearly by you that some aspects that have been done in the past are going to be reviewed and looked at and corrected. But I want to assure you that I'm going to push forward to have the right reform, because the most important thing that they're doing right now is get the people who don't know anything about power, who don't know anything about the need to conserve energy and use different resources. They're an absolute talented combination of people getting this measured out. If this assurance wasn't there, I would have trouble supporting it, very much so. But I don't, because it's there. So members of council, I think it's, we let this matter go forward. We don't exert jurisdiction, but you have my assurance, and you have the assurance of the president of the Water and Power Commissioners here, that if this becomes a problem based on the findings of the audit of the city controller, we're going to pull this back up again. And this is the assurance. Which you said there's no assurance. I don't know if Mr. Miller was concerned about that, or someone else at the center table previously. There is assurance. This is a people's game that we try to help and do things the right way. So I want to ask that we move this matter on, but not exert jurisdiction, and keep a tremendous focus, and encourage the controller, not just in this area, but in other areas, to look at things that need the attention. Thank you very much.
Mr. Holden.
Mr. Holden.
Mr. Holden.
Mr. Holden.
Mr. President, members, it's clear to me, at least, that Ms. Andrews, the Andrews, where are you? Will you stand up to the mic, please? I just want people to see you all. Your name has been dropped a lot around here. That's because Ms. Andrews has been active in our community and community-based organizations for many years. Now that the cameras have been on you, you can sit down. That's fine. And what I'm really saying is that what you see is not what it's altogether made out to be. You have a lot of subcontractors. These subcontractors are Mendy, Berman, Communications, Bowman Inc., Brainchild Creative, Estela Lopez Consulting, Voice Inc., Language, and the list goes on. Palisades Media Group. This money is not going to Ms. Lee Andrews. It's going to all the people across the city to do a job, promote green power. That's all it's going to do. And I think that you can't do that with subcontractors on a month-to-month basis. You have the long-range planning. Now, what I like about the contract, if something is wrong with administering that contract, 30 days notice and it's dead. If any information emanates from the audit, and Mr. Labarge is the chair of the audit committee, and I sit on that, you know, Ms. Chick, how I feel about that. They tried to tap you in there one day, and I told them, leave me alone. And nothing has changed. I still going to stand for what I think the truth is. Truth of the matter is that this program, we need it for the summer, especially that's what most of those groups said. And it's a diverse religious group, ethnically balanced group, people, and I think that we ought to have this group in place. We should give them an opportunity to provide the service and conservation energy that we need. You had that guy over there, his name is Freeman. He went up there and got some contracts signed in Sacramento, which the bankrupted the state of California. We're glad he's gone. We're glad you're here. Okay? He did bankrupt us. Went from $12 billion surplus to a $20 billion deficit. Because of the contracts they signed. We tried to tell you guys about it before, but you all were rubber stamps. Like laminated material, one on top of the other, voting the same way all over again. And you learn. But I'm saying to you that we're not going to vote to continue this. It takes 8 votes to continue. If that should fail, we got to act on it today, Mr. City. Well, you can shake your head if you want. You need votes to continue. And when the motion is made to continue it, you don't get 8 votes, then the matter is before us.
Mr. Holden.
If the matter is before us, then we have to vote on it. If you want to change, I'll challenge that ruling in court. If you vote against that.
Mr. Holden. Mr. Weiss, Mr. Rudy Thomas. The next speaker is Mr. Garcetti.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Garcetti before Mr. Wiggs. Mr. Wiggs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And for those of you tuning in late, it is Philippine Independence Day, so happy Philippine Independence Day again. I wanted to say a few things. I've been listening very closely to this debate, and I think there's one thing that's missing that we need to say. Where it's clear that what the end game is today, there aren't the votes for this, but I think we do need to recognize that this is a good process, and that the work and the continuing work of the Controller's Office will help us to be better, all of us, community partners, the City Council, the Mayor's Office, to be better at what we do. And one thing is clear, and the power is, it looks like, will probably lie with the Commission once again. And I have full trust and faith in that Commission to do what is right in the future, to make sure that if anything comes back, not just on this, but on any of the auditing that we are doing, that they will do the right thing and at least take up the matter, so that if they do the wrong thing, we can assert jurisdiction on that. That is what we demand in terms of partnership with them. We had an item that passed today, it was item number 5, to have refrigerators in our low-income communities, a refrigerator replacement program for energy efficiency. We need to have those dollars out there because, for instance, we don't even have dollars to provide the education to make sure that stuff gets out there. We have a lot of things which the Green Power program has done, which is not just lauded here, but the Financial Times called it the best public utility green power program in the world. And that's something that every Angelino should be proud of. But there are important questions on 3 levels that have been raised today: oversight, public policy, and process. And I'm not happy with all of them. And I think there's great things that have come out of what the Controller has done. And she is only, for those who have criticized her motivations, please, Controller Chick is coming from a place of good government. I know that on this. I know who she is, and I know where she's coming from on this. We certainly have to look at public benefits money. It's something that we've all been considering. Some of that is going to affordable housing in this city. Some of that has been proposed by Councilmember Pacheco, that go to the Green Building Initiative, which Los Angeles historically passed, becoming the largest city in this country to have green building standards for its public buildings. We're also looking at other things like whether or not, as has been suggested by the Controller, that we should be spending some of that public benefits money, that green power money, on more parks. And we know that there are parts of the city that don't have them. And that is the good that's coming out of this process. As some of us find ourselves fighting against each other, we can unite on that and take up those public policy discussions. And I hope that we don't just drop the ball once we get what we want or we don't get what we want today, because those are important discussions to have. In terms of our oversight, too, I think that we have to have the Commission be respectful of what the Mayor's Office and what the Council Office asks it to take up. And I know that they will be a good partner in doing that as well. And then thirdly, in terms of the process, there's been some stuff that has been too quick. There's been some stuff that has been too unclear. I think the Department needs to be clear in terms of what its vision is going to be with this program, so that we can see that from a public policy perspective as well.
Thank you, Mr.
But today, just in conclusion, I appreciate a couple seconds over. Today, we must not lose sight of what the good of this process has been. Not only to highlight for so many Angelinos what this green, this has been the best chance to talk about the Green Power program ever. I mean, so many people who hopefully are listening know about these community partners, know about the good work that's out there. At the same time, demand good oversight and good spending of those dollars. And that's what has been kind of riled up here today, and what we must not drop the ball on, even though today's end game is already set. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garcetti. Mr. Rudy Thomas.
Previous question on the entire matter, Mr. President.
Once again, the previous question is called. Clerk, please open the roll on the previous question. Roll is open on the previous question. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
That does end discussion. We now have the motions in front of us. Mr. Rudy Thomas, on a point of order.
Is among them a one-day continuance of the practical matter, Mr. President?
I do not believe that such a motion has been made.
Well, I would so move.
I would just let Mr. Ridley Thomas know that if there are not 10 votes to assert jurisdiction, then the matter would go over to the next level.
I'm aware of that. Some members said that they would prefer doing it more affirmatively.
Is there any objection to a one-day continuance on this? Okay, there's an objection, so let's
Entonces hay
open
una
the
objeción,
roll.
vamos a
There
abrir
is
la
an
lista.
objection?
¿Hay una objeción?
I heard Mr. Holden
Por el señor
object.
Holden.
All right.
Ok, ya veo.
So
Entonces,
please open the roll
ahora sale
on
lista
a
y yo
one-day
voto.
continuance.
Un día para continuar.
Please close the roll
Cierre la lista
and tabulate the vote.
establece el voto.
8 ayes, 2 noes.
This matter is continued for one legislative day.
El próximo día.
Till tomorrow?
Hasta mañana.
Madam Clerk, would you please
Por favor,
note the
note que
remaining speakers on the queue?
los
We'll
oradores
begin
en
with
la
those
lista. Vamos
speakers
con esos
when
oradores.
we revisit the matter.
Revisitemos la causa.
Go ahead. Madam Clerk, are there items
Secretaria, hay
17 and
asuntos
38, the
17
other
y 38
special
son los otros dos
items
especiales.
called urgency
Temas
items?
Item number 7 was also will call special for an amending motion by Mr. Garcetti. I don't believe they are urgent, however, it would be up to the council.
Members were close to losing a quorum here. Item number 7 is an amending motion. Is that technical in nature?
Es técnica en nación, en naturaleza.
Not exactly technical, but I can explain it very quickly. The money for citywide sets, the federal government's not providing it. The Harvard Department has stepped up to provide it. Anyway, so it should be under conversation.
Item number 7, Mr. Reyes.
Asunto número 7, señor
Okay, item number 7 is an
Asunto número
amending motion
7
that
es
has
una
been
moción que se ha
circulated.
circulado.
Other members wishing to be
Otros miembros
heard?
que deseen ser oídos.
Seeing none.
Dígase ninguno.
Clerk, please open the roll
Ábrase la lista.
on the amending
En la
motion for item number
emocionamiento
7.
para el asunto número 7.
Please close the roll
Por favor, ciérrese la
and
lista
tabulate
y
the vote.
tablece el voto.
10 ayes.
10
That is
sí,
approved.
está aprobado.
And then you wish to adopt as
Adopta
amended.
como está
Please
amendado.
open the roll.
Por favor, hace la lista.
Please close the roll
Ciérrese la
and
lista.
tabulate the
Tablece el
vote.
voto.
10 ayes.
10 sí.
Item number 7 as
Asunto número
amended is
7 está
approved.
amendado,
Mr.
pero está
Reyes.
aprobado, señor
Council
Reyes.
President, out of courtesy to my
Cortesía a mis colegas,
Councilmember Pacheco and
Pacheco y Perry.
they wanted to
Ellos
reconsider
querían reconsiderar
41
el 41
and substitute and move the substitute
y mover el
41D.
sustituto
They
41.
both have left.
Los dos ya se
Okay.
fueron. Entonces,
Motion for
para
reconsideration of item
reconsideración el
41.
asunto 41.
D.
And move the substitute
Mueve el
41D.
For
sustituto.
41D only, it's a
41
special event.
solamente es
Please
un
open the
evento
roll.
especial. Ábrese la lista,
Please close the roll
ciérrese la
and
lista y
tabulate the
tablece
vote.
el voto.
10 ayes.
10 sí.
On item
En
41D,
el
we
asunto
do have a
41
substitute
tenemos
motion
una
that has
moción
been
de sustituto
circulated.
que ha circulado.
Members with questions
Miembros
or
con
comments
preguntas o
on
comentarios en el
substitute
asunto 41D.
Seeing none, Madam
Dígase
Clerk, please
ninguno,
open the roll.
ábrase la lista,
Please close the
ciérrese
roll
la lista,
and tabulate
tabulece
the
el
vote.
voto.
10 ayes.
Substitute 41D is approved. Thank you, Mr. Reyes.
Can we
Ahora podemos
forthwith number 7?
adelantar para adelante el número 7.
And
Para adelante.
Clerk, Madam City Attorney, your opinion is there's no urgency on items 17 or 38.
I believe that the the Senate bill, Scott bill, not the ordinance, but the Scott bill, is going to be in committee on Tuesday, I believe is the date. So if the council wants to take a position on that, they would probably need to act today. The ordinance could be held.
Okay, Mr. Zine.
Señor Sain.
Mr. President,
Presidente,
request that on item number 8, which was previously approved, be forthwith, which is the MOU for the airport police officers.
Forthwith on item number 8.
Para adelante el asunto
Members of the
número 8,
council, we do
miembros del
have
Consejo,
cards on
tenemos
both items
tarjetas en los
17
dos
and
asuntos 17 y
38. Neither of which is an
Ahora,
urgency
son los que se
item.
urgencian
The legislative matter in Sacramento is scheduled in committee, not on the floor. So I think waiting another week would be
para una
okay.
semana estaría bien.
Is there any objection
¿Hay
to
alguna objeción
continuing
para
items
continuar
17 and
asunto
38?
17 y 38?
Seeing.
I would just say that
Yo
since
diría que
17
como
also
17
contains
también
a proposed
contiene
ordinance,
una ordenanza
we can have first
propuesta,
reading of the
podemos hacer
ordinance
su
now
primera
and
lista
vote
de la
on it.
We would need
ordenanza y
public
votar
hearing
eso.
before we proceed with the
Estaría una
ordinance.
Fair
audiencia
enough, we can
para
wait.
nosotros podamos
Okay, so without objection, we'll
Entonces,
continue
vamos
items
a continuar
17 and
17 y
38 to one day as
38
well.
para un día también.
Madam Clerk.
This is the time then for comments from the public on items not on council's agenda.
Okay, an opportunity for members of the public to address the council. The council calls for it at this time. Ms. Eddie Mae Miller, to be followed by Larry Ross.
Por Larry Ross.
Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes.
My name is Addie Mae Miller, and it's spelled A-double-D like David, I-E as in Edward, Mae, M-A-E, Miller. I am honored to have the opportunity to address the Honorable
dirigirme a los
City
honorables
Council
del Concilio de
of
la
the City of Los
ciudad de
Angeles.
Los Ángeles.
I
Me
realize
doy cuenta
your task at
de
hand,
su prueba en
and I
mano
want to thank
y
each
quiero dar las
and
gracias
every
a
one of
cada
you
uno de ustedes
for your
por
service
sus
to the
servicios
people
a la
of the
gente
City
de
of
la
Los
ciudad de Los
Angeles.
Ángeles.
Sunday,
El domingo,
June
junio
16,
16,
2002,
2002,
is a special day
es un día
for men.
especial para hombres.
And I, Addie Mae Miller,
Addie Mae Miller,
want to wish you
quiero
and
desearle
all
esto
men
a todos los
of
hombres
this great
de
world
este gran mundo
a happy Father's
feliz
Men's Day. And I also
Padres
want to
de hombres.
extend a belated happy
tardante
Mother Women's Day to
Día de las
all the
Madres a
women
todas las
of the
mujeres
city of
de la
Los
ciudad de
Angeles
Los
and of
Ángeles
the world.
y del mundo.
I have
Yo
created
he creado
and designed a
y
special
diseñado un
Father's Day card
tarjeta especial
for the
para el Día de
men
Padres para los hombres
and for the
y
women.
para las mujeres.
And if you have the
Y si
time,
tienen el
you are
tiempo,
welcome
están bienvenidos
see
a ver
my special created
creada
Father's Day
especialmente
card for
la
you
tarjeta de padres
at
para ustedes en
addymiller.com, which is my personal
que es mi
website. Once
website
again,
personal una vez
I want
más.
to extend Happy
Quiero
Father's Day
extenderle
and Happy
feliz
Mother's Day,
Día
belated Mother's
de
Day.
Padres
Thank
y
you.
Día de Madres. Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias,
Mr. Ross.
señor Ross.
My name is Larry
Mi nombre es
Ross.
Larry Ross.
I will begin where I
Voy a
left
empezar
off
donde me quedé
on May
en
1st,
mayo 1 del
2002.
2002.
The
En
hospitals
los
are not doing the
hospitales no
job that
están
they're
haciendo
there
el
to
trabajo
do.
que deben de
Example,
hacer.
Daniel
Por ejemplo,
Freeman,
Daniel Freeman,
Centinela, Harvard,
Centinela,
UCLA,
Harvard, UCLA,
Martin Luther King and Drew, etc. The civil rights organizations are not doing the job that they're there to do. Example, the NAACP and ACLU. The law enforcement agencies are not doing the job they're there to do. For example, LAPD, the sheriffs, etc. The government agencies are not doing the jobs they're there to do. Example, Department of Justice or Department of Justice, FBI, and the DA, and the city attorney's offices, etc. The government at every level are not doing the job that they're there to do. For example, the federal, the state, the city, and the county. Attorneys in the public and private sectors are not doing the job that they're there to do. And this has been a result. Abuses and violations of civil and constitutional rights. Circumvention of the duly constituted laws. For example, people's lives are being destroyed. One of the latest, family members' health suddenly shifted it from sound to unsound. One close family member recently passed away. And after I left from down here, within 5 days, another close family member suddenly died unexplainably. That's two close family members suddenly are no longer amongst the living. Examples of plagiarisms. One of the entries has reference to care. I made mention of that fact when I was here last time. Suddenly, it had changed its format to a different one, based upon ideas of mine. And just Friday, as I had an opportunity to watch TV, I was watching this program that comes on Channel 2 at 9 p.m. And it is entitled The First Monday, based upon the schedule of the United States United States Supreme Court schedule.
Sir, if I may ask you to conclude.
My point has been that it's based upon an idea of mine. I have been coming before this body since 1997, bringing to its attention violations of my constitutional and civil rights, as well as, or which also would include plagiarisms of my ideas working projects. And this body has not even acknowledged my presence here.
Thank you very much.
It has not acknowledged to even ask one simple question, how do you know that? So I want to
Thank you for your comments. This concludes the public comment for today's meeting. Madam Clerk, the next item, please.
Council has motions for posting and referral. There's an excuse on the desk. Councilmember Bond requests to be excused for personal business Wednesday, June 19th. A motion is required.
Mr. Reyes moves, Mr. LaFox excused.
That clears the desk.
Are there any announcements? Members, any announcements? Members, let me, if there's no other announcements, let me announce that there is a game tonight. Game 4, Mr. Hall.
Mr. President,
Señor presidente.
did someone ask to be excused on June 19th?
Junio 19
Is that a council day?
es un día de concesión.
Yeah? Okay. Isn't the 18th next Sunday?
18 el próximo domingo.
19th, I believe, is a
19
Wednesday.
creo que es un miércoles.
The 19th, I believe, is a
19 es
Wednesday.
miércoles.
Okay. Members, I was mentioning there is game for tonight. If the Lakers, we hope, prevail, I have been advised by the departments that anticipation and planning would be for a parade on Friday. And as to not jinx our Lakers, our defending world champion Lakers, if they toy with the Nets tonight and win on Friday, then we're looking at a parade on Monday. So if there's a parade on Monday, we will, in all likelihood, not have a council meeting that day, and we would invite the public to participate in that. If the Lakers are not victorious until Friday, we'll see everybody at the parade on Monday. Mr. Garcetti.
Another announcement, colleagues, though the timing is bad because the Laker game begins at 6:30 this evening. There's a debate on secession in Hollywood between myself and Gene LaPietra, one of the leaders of Hollywood Vote at the Hollywood Methodist Church at Franklin and Highland. So obviously all those who love LA will be watching the Lakers, but if you're not a basketball fan, come on by.
Any other announcements?
Otra anuncio.
Mr. Lamont.
To Mr. Garcetti's debate tonight to have a 24-second clock so you can get through your debate quick, lay the facts out. But also, I want to ask Mr. President, if you call the President of the Trenton, New Jersey City Council, or the Atlantic Cities, do you have anything, any friendly wager between the city of Jersey and Los Angeles?
Mr. Labange, from New Jersey, there is nothing to wager.
Okay.
Whatever. Any other announcements?
Algunos otros anuncios.
Seeing adjourning motions? Adjourning motions, please rise.
Mociones, por favor, levántense.
Adjourning motions.
Mociones para terminar.
Mr. Reyes.
Señor Reyes.
Yes, Council President, colleagues, I'd like to adjourn in memory of
Juanito Johnny Halloween.
He's a longtime employee of the city as inspector for the Department of Building and Safety, Materials Control Division. Survived by his wife, Alda, son Michael, and daughter. And I just wanted to send our condolences to the family.
Other tributes? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Por favor, llévese la lista.
Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned.